I will just off my video also so that we don't consume much of the internet. So our first topic, I think you must have seen the schedule what I have shared it to you guys, where we talked about topics like first topic is stakeholders and their laws and road rules 2021. Okay, then followed by the basic principles of light, and then we have ATC procedures and telephony, and then we talk about the actual drones, fixed wing rotorcraft, and hybrid drones with respect to their operations and aerodynamics of those type of drones. Okay, so let's start with today's first topic about the. Let me know once you are able to see the screen,
Yes. Yes.
right? So first module is stakeholders and their laws, drone rules 2021. So let's see how actually the aviation has started and how the drone rules or drone has been part of the aviation industry. So what are the international rules, regulations, standards, and practice? So if you see, aviation started from 1900 century, year 1900, and the first flight. Not it is not really the first flight, but it is the first flight which was made officially for the global people or general people to see. Actually, before that, I mean, Wright brothers would have flown multiple times, and they could have encountered a lot of failures, a lot of challenges, and within over the period of time, they would have corrected or made the changes into their design and obviously, and then successfully they have flown their first aircraft, and that's where we say the start of the aviation, or the real first flight, actually, what we say. But if the history goes beyond that or backdated, if you see a lot of people, even like Leonardo da Vinci, also had made some designs of related to helicopter or a flying machine, or he also envisioned like a period like where humans would actually fly like a bird and all. So as the aviation industry has grown and people were started building different types of aeroplanes and aircraft, and they started flying from one location to another location within the country, or they also started between two different countries. So as we have seen World War I and World War II, you must have seen in initial war like World War I, there was not much because that is the point time where actually the aircraft was actually got its tested, designed, and tested, and all the things. But in what there was a huge adoption in World War II of the aircraft. So if you see, World War I was more or less like a rifle and the trenches. It was war of guns and the trenches kind of thing. Whereas World War II or even World War I, there was you saw that adoption of tanks. Okay, because to cross over the trenches, the small vehicles were not possible, so they used to get stuck or they were not able to cross over, and that's how actually the tanks got developed. And you see, there was a lot of usage of tanks in World War II. Similarly, the aviation, since it has also took over, so a lot of aircrafts or all the countries who were part of the World War, they have developed their own air force kind of thing. So US, British, or Germany, all everybody has developed their own segment of aviation, and they started building a lot of aircraft. And predominantly, the aircrafts were also used enormously in World War II. So as we see, as the World War was also going on, a lot of countries thought that we need to have a uniformity or some agreement between the nations with respect to the technicality, economics, legal, operational matters, with respect to the civil aviation. Okay, so there was a treaty for establishment of international organization, so that all the organization or all the nations can follow, and then there would be a uniformity in understanding or making the aircraft or flying the aircraft or doing the operation. So, there were almost 36 nations who had signed the treaty on December 7th, 1944 at Chicago Convention. Okay, so it is the organization is called as International Civil Aviation Organization, or in short term we called it as ICAO. Okay, so at Montreal, Canada, had a council where 36 states, they formed this organization, and this organization was built, and currently it keep on serving the civil aviation across the globe. Okay, so now it is not only 36, but there are 100 plus countries are being part of ICAO organization, okay, which is headquartered in Montreal, Canada. So, what are the focus with respect to drones? Okay, we are not going to much in detail about the aviation. It has very big history, and lot many things have been done into that. But let's see how ICAO has with respect to ARPAS. They also formed a committee in 2015. Okay, so you see, from 1904, from where the aviation started, 1944, we had states or nations coming together and forming a common organization to follow the uniformity and agreement between nations to fly or operate the aircraft, to drones in 2015. Okay, almost after, I would say, more than a century, people actually thought that ARPAS is also one of the important aspects of the aviation world, and they thought that we need to have international instrument flying operations, global interoperability with respect to the certificate of airworthiness, operator certificate, and remote pilot license. These are the couple of things which are very important. Certificate of airworthiness means how your drone is capable and how it is safely and safety, as well as it will not cause any damage or anything like that. Whatever the safety features have been built into the drones, then operator certificate, people who are actually operating, like there will be a various organization who will be offering the services with respect to the drones. Similarly, what we have in aviation, like Air India is one of the operators, Indigo is one of the operators, or other any, or like Air Kerala is now starting, or Air India or Tata also, initially Air Vistara. So these are all operators. Similarly, we have a lot of operators into the drone industry also. So how we can certify, like how we, also one of the operators where we are envisioned or we are being authorized to provide the training to the pilots or build the pilots for the drones. And then, of course, as we train people to fly the drones, how the licensing would happen, the remote pilot license, what we call, or right now it is not called as a license, but it is called as a remote pilot certificate. It is called RPC. Okay. And then the national authority focus framework for domestic operations. There are two aspects when we are flying either an aircraft or a drone. One is within the country, that is the domestic operations, what we call, and then we have another is called the international operations, where we fly from one nation to another nation, or one country to another country. How country to country there might be some differences in the rules, or there might be some relaxations, or maybe some stringent part are put up into their rules. But more or less, the rules or regulations across are being derived from whatever is being given by the ICAO. There might be some amendments with respect to the country to country, but majority, if you see the rules that have been done by ICAO, are the same rules that have been followed across nations who are part of the international civil aviation. Okay. Any questions on this side?
No, sir.
Yeah. Shailesh, you have?
Uh, yeah. So my question is this certificate.
Hmm.
This certificate is valid in international level.
As of now, there is no agreement between any of the countries. Okay, so even you are certified from, let's say, you are certified in US, that is not valid in India, or whether you are certified in India, it's not valid in US. Okay, so if you go to US, you have to do their own course, but it will give an advantage since you are already a drone pilot in India. So they may have something called as a refresher course. Okay, you may not need to do a full course or something. It depends again country to country and all that thing. Like if you go to Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, they may ask you to do the complete course. So depend upon the country how they have adopted and they have put release, because it depends upon what kind of operations you are going to do and how long you are going to do operation. Okay? For example, you are going to European country and there you are going to fly a drone for some period. So you may have to get some refresher course and you are authorized to fly the drone over there. But sometimes some countries do not say that we will not give you a temporary license or something like that. You may have to use their local pilot who can do the activity behalf of you, something like that. So it depends upon country to country. As of
Oh,
now, every country has their own what we say remote pilot license operations, and it is limited to that country itself. So ICAO has not still come up with the interoperability of the drone rules or the drone flying activity with respect to the remote pilot.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
But your license is completely valid within the pan India. Anywhere in India, you can use your license and you can fly drone with respect to your license and your ratings.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, sir. Okay.
So what all the rules and regulations, standard practice as per the RPAS or Remote Pilot Aircraft System panel was formed for the Aircraft Navigation Commission in 2015, as I said, single point for all the US related matters in ICAO. So this there was a separate committee was formed or the commission was formed where they have adopted people from different segments. Like they have got the people from airworthiness department, they have got people from air traffic management, they have got people from detect and avoid systems, they have got people from human performance, they have got people from pilot licensing department, then they have got people from operations, and then people from safety management, communication, and security. So these are the all the important points with respect to the unmanned aircraft systems, where they feel that these are the things we should consider when we are actually deriving or arriving on a common rules and regulations or standards and practices in the remote pilot aircraft system. Okay, RPAS. So this panel was formed in 2015. You should understand. So you can see 2015 only. It actually ICAO has developed the rules and regulations and the standards and practices. Okay. So if you see from the drone adoption, I would say that since 2015 only, so 2016 actually US had their first rules and regulations, and by 2018 they had almost 1 lakh pilots. So within 2 years, they have got 12 lakh pilots. However, our rules have started since 2021, and as I talk to you on these lines, currently I can tell you we have just 12,000 plus of pilots with us. Okay, so in last 3 years we just had a 12,000 pilots. Though we also have a requirement of a drone pilot of more than 1 lakh. Okay, so that's what we are actually. All the RPTOs are aiming that we train more and more people, and so that more if the more people are available, because if you see the registration of the drones on the DGCA portal or the government portal, as of now we see 30,000 drones are already been registered. So see the difference between the number of drones registered on the portal and the number of pilots available on the portal. Okay, so 30,000 and 12. So almost like you have one third, I could say one third of people are only trained for legally flying the drones, whereas we have 30,000 drones registered on the portal. And this number is, the number of drones getting registered is very exponentially going ahead. Like I can tell you, like 1 year back, it was just 15,000, and it is almost in a year it has got doubled up. Okay, the number of drones. But whereas the number of pilots, I can see it was somewhere around 8,000 1 year back. Now it has gone to 12,000 plus. So the increase of the pilot or the pilots getting certified or trained is less compared to the drone getting registered under the portal. Okay. So there is a gap what we are seeing, and that is the reason why a lot of RPTOs are working along with lot of bodies with respect to the government, with respect to the educational institutes, or even the IITs and all. A lot of organizations have slowly started engaging with the RPTOs to conduct the drone pilot trainings for their students or for their resource of people and all that thing. Different organizations are getting adopting drone pilot training so that we have more and more people trained, and adoption of the drone also becomes very huge about it. Okay. From a perspective, I said remote pilot organization also, that there where we have seen a good growth with respect to last 1 year. I can tell you that we were 1 year back, we were somewhere around 50, 57 of RPTOs, and as I speak to you now, we are almost 162 RPTOs. So there I can see a good growth, almost twice the growth of whatever the RPTOs we have in country. More and more RPTOs, especially in the rural areas, the RPTOs are being set up so that especially in the agriculture field or other environments like monitoring or surveying, mapping, where these were predominantly done in a physical way. Now they are being done mostly using the drones. So these are some rules and regulations. If you see, with respect to the India, the first law was passed in 1934, which we called it as an Aircraft Act. Okay, whenever we say Aircraft Act, that is 1934. That is the first law in India to regulate the civil aviation industry and make better provision for the control of manufacturing, possession, usage, operations, sale, import, and export of the aircraft. So these are the points which were considered initially to develop the first rule or the document which says how are you going to manufacture the aircraft, how are you going to have your own aircraft, what would be the way you are going to use it, or what are the operations, or whether you develop the aircraft and you sell to somebody else, or you can export and import the aircraft. Like you can earlier, a lot of aircraft were imported from British. Okay, so you will see the old airport vintage aircraft were more or less British made or US made kind of thing. However, as things progressed, there was a lot of adoption of the aircraft was taken within the India. Like as you seen, JRD Tata has flown the aircraft and started the Air India and all that things or operations between Mumbai to Karachi and all. Okay, so they thought that there needs to be a lot of amendment into the initial act of 1934. So in 1937, aircraft rules was developed under the Aircraft Act 1934 for applied to and to person on aircraft registered in India, aircraft operators in India, as well as aircraft for time being in or over Indian airspace. Okay, so this is very important. This is more or less from the operations perspective. So, what are the rules and regulations you need to follow if you are having an aircraft which is registered within India or the operator in India, as well as the aircraft, probably like, the aircraft flying from UK, France, Germany, Italy, any location, or from probably from US, Singapore, or Japan, China, any location. If they are flying over the Indian airspace, they need to follow this aircraft rule 1937. Similarly, like if you are flying any other aircraft, irrespective of which country or which make and all the things, if wherever you are flying, let's say you are flying your aircraft on Germany, so you need to follow their rules. If you're flying over UK, you have to follow their rules. So that's how you are. But more or less, the rules and regulations are more or less simple or straightforward and similar, since everybody is following the ICAO rules and regulations. Okay. So whereas in India, if you see, all the regulations related to aviation are been released as a document called as Civil Aviation Requirements. So we called it as a CAR. So if you see drone rules also, initially it was released as a CAR in 2018. Okay, remember this. 2018 was the first drone document, or what we say a draft rules which was made. in Indian government by DPCA was done in 2018. So car is issued by Director General of Civil Aviation, or what we call it is a short form as DGCA. Okay. So initially car for ARPAs was issued under the provision of Rule 15A and Rule 133A of the Aircraft Rule 1937. So I will be sharing you these, or there are links from where you can download these documents, Aircraft Act 1934 and Aircraft Rules 1937. By end of today's session, you will have a couple of documents which will be helpful for you to reading and for your reference, so that you can go into those documents and see what all things are being covered, and what is rule number 15A or rule number 133A, and how it is related to our past operations and all that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So remember, car is nothing but civil aviation one. So you have to remember couple of terminology, couple of dates, couple of points as historically when things had happened. What? Okay, so like when we say Aircraft Act means we are talking about Aircraft Act 1934, which was first law passed in India. Whereas there are, with respect to the operations, we say Aircraft Rules 1937, which actually was more or less for applied to and a person or a aircraft registered in India and aircraft operations in India, as well as aircraft from time being in or over Indian airspace. Okay, so see the difference between Aircraft Act and Aircraft Rules. So when we say Act, means we are saying about 1934. When we say rules, we talk about 1937. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is AIP? AIP is nothing but Aeronautical Information Publication. It is a prime document containing permanent information for long-term validity of flight operation. It is published by each ICAO states or its territory. This AIP is a document which has been circulated by each ICAO state, or state means its country. Okay, don't think state means earlier it was a terminology which was used in US or Canada. So that's why they are using state. But state or its territory is basically we are talking about the country. Okay. So there is a document like what we have, Aircraft Act and Aircraft Rules. These are our documents. We call it as Aeronautical Information Publication and subsequent amendment to those rules. Okay, there are a lot of amendment has happened over the period of time. Like in 2003, there was no provision for what kind of goods we can carry on the aircraft and what we can't carry. Okay, so that carry of dangerous goods definition has come in 2003, when we saw a lot of people using carrying dangerous goods on the aircraft and causing a lot of accidents or terrorism related to that. So there was a clear document or amendment made to the rules what you can carry and what you can't carry within the aircraft. Okay, then NOTAM is nothing but announcement transmitted by means of telecommunication containing information concerning the establishment, conditions, or changes in aeronautical facilities service. So NOTAM is basically a document released with respect to the aerodrome or the airport. Okay, so if you want to see what all the facilities are there with respect to the any aerodrome or airport or any aviation facility, you should always refer to their latest NOTAM documentation. Okay, so it will have condition or change in, like if I am putting up a new radar at Mumbai airport, so I will include in my next NOTAM as amendment say that okay, Mumbai airport is been equipped with so and so radar or whatever the facilities or whatever the infrastructure or whatever the facilities or anything related to operations, okay, or procedures or any change in thing we are trying to do within that facility. We will always include the airport or aerodrome will always release a NOTAM document. It is basically information of temporary validity. For example, your subsequent NOTAM will release a new series of documents, okay, every time. So every time you keep on updating, you keep in posting your NOTAM so that people are always seeing the updated NOTAM document for actually the pilots to fly. So basically, I'll give a simple example with respect to that. Let's say flying from Mumbai to airport, sorry, Surat. Okay. Now, Surat airport is not equipped for night flight. or let's say Kolhapur airport, which is not equipped for night flight. So how do I will know sitting in Mumbai or pilot know? Because you'll always note down. In note down document, we will come to know, okay, in Mumbai, from Mumbai, if I'm flying to Kolhapur or Surat, these are the airports which are not equipped for night flight. So I cannot, take aircraft in the evening or something. So I have to do a day flying. When we say day flying means after the sunrise and before the sunset. So that is what we call as a daylight flying or day flying. So after the sunset, you cannot, even though there might be a visibility, also you are not allowed to land at those aircraft. Sorry, all that airports. So all that information, or maybe what kind of radar, what kind of landing systems we have, whether we have to follow a visual line of sight, or whether we have to follow instrumental flying procedures. All that information, what kind of radars we have, what frequency they operate, or what kind of weather, and all that information will be covered under the NOTAM. So before we start with the drone rules 2021, let's see what is the overview of the drone rules 2021. So as I said, our drone rules initially were in a draft version, was released in 2018. Okay, but it had lot of issues, lot of challenges, lot of amendment was required into that, because a lot of rules were defined in a perspective of a aviation industry, okay, from the aircraft perspective. So there were a lot of people were chosen from the general side or from the industry side. Like there were people from BFC, Bombay Flying Club. There were people from various people who were actually initially working also on a drone environment or from the aero modeling perspective kind of thing. Okay. So they had formed a team of almost 20 25 people across pan India, and then DGC along with these people they have conducted a lot of workshops, seminars, and once they have come to some conclusion, the drone rules were released in month of August. Initially, it was released in August, and then the draft rule were given after all the discussions and all the things. The drone rules were given to these 20 25 people, and then they have gone through these documents. And if there was minor changes, what was required, those were suggested and finalized, and then the drone rules was released officially to the people to follow, and usage of the drones in Indian airspace. So it has different segments into it. The major segments, what we say was first, since we didn't have any manufacturing of the drone in India, so a lot of time initially stage you would have seen people were making drones, but there was no how actually and what are the airworthiness you need to follow when we are making the drone. So that what we call as a type certification. Okay, so if you're trying to build a drone, let's say for example, you people decide, Zentech decide that we'll have our own drone for our purpose, for the activity, because you know how the civil industry works and how the shipping, whatever the surveying, mapping, whatever you want to do or monitoring you want to do, with respect to that, you want to build your own drone. So if you want to build your own drone, you need to follow what is being specified under the type certification. Okay, which is actually once you develop your drone, you need to get that drone type certified from the QCI. So DGCI has appointed Quality Control of India or Quality Council of India to approve the certifications for the OEMs. Okay, so you can build your own drone with respect to the type certification document, and then you can get it certified from QCI. Okay. Once you have built your drone, or you have purchased a drone, or you have imported drone from somebody, or somebody has even gifted to you, or you may have taken a drone on lease from someone else. So whenever you have those, you have to make sure that those drones are being registered on the government portal or DGCA portal. So that is what we call as drone register. This is the most important. As I said that as of now I talk to you, we have 30,000 plus drones registered on the government portal. So this is what I was talking about. You need to do a drone registration. As you see, we have drones getting developed, we see drones are getting registered on the portal. We need a body which supposed to be training the pilots. Okay, so there has to be organizations who are equipped with the infrastructure with respect to the drone flying, with respect to the ground classrooms or simulation environment and all that things. So we require drone pilot training organizations, which are actually again a DGCI approved drone training schools. Okay, so we as I spoke to you in the introduction presentation, where I said Bombay Flying Club was the first RPTO to get approved by DGCA in India in 2019. Okay, so we were actually the first FTO who were the first DGCA approved drone training school. As the RPTOs are getting established, they are going to train more and more drone pilots. So there has to be some rules and regulations, some eligibility criteria, and the RPTO to follow certain governance with respect to the drone pilot licensing or certifications or the training expected. So those are being defined into the drone rules 2021 and the drone pilot license or drone pilot certificate. Okay, as we see, we are flying the drones, we are registering the drones. We have, if you see the first four squares, everywhere you are going to be utilizing the drone for flying or operational activities. Definitely, drone being a mobility device, there could be a threat to the human life, there could be a threat to the property and all the things. So, definitely, it is said that any drone which is registered on the platform or even it is not registered. Okay, that's a different aspect to talk. But whenever the drone you are flying, you should make sure that drone is covered under the insurance. Okay, so you have to take the third party insurance similar to your motor vehicle act or car insurance. What you take, same is applicable over here. So they follow the same rules and regulations, and it is been under the same insurance body or the organization which manages the insurance part for all other aspects in India. So IRDA will see that in more detail further how the insurance is being taken care, and then permissions with respect to the safety and security of the people. What all things we need to follow. So no permission for flying in green zone. Okay. So we'll see in detail what is green zone, yellow zone, and red zone. However, for flying a drone in a green zone, you don't require a permission. But there are certain rules and regulations which you need to follow when you are flying in a green zone. However, for flying a drone in yellow zone or red zone, permission is required. Okay. First of all, there is no approval given in yellow or red zone, but you can make you say approval request to the certain bodies, and once they give you for a certain period of time, within that time frame, you can actually fly the drone in yellow or red zone. Okay. Whereas in green zone, you don't require need to take any permission on it. Okay. But then there are certain limitations to that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see now how drones are classified and categorized as per the drone rules 2021. So as we say, UAS means it basically stands for Unmanned Aircraft System. So UAS is categorized as three types. One is rotorcraft, another is aeroplane, and third is hybrid. So hybrid is nothing but the combination of rotorcraft and aeroplane. So rotorcraft means where you can fly a drone. Rotorcraft is actually a drone. Okay. Aeroplane is also a drone which is unmanned. Okay. Here now we are when we are talking about drone rules 2021, we are completely talking about unmanned aircraft or unmanned aeroplanes. Okay. We are not talking about the big aeroplane carry. As of now we are talking about unmanned aircraft. So photograph is actually the drone. Aeroplane is again unmanned. And the combination of photograph and aeroplane is actually hybrid or what recently been called as VTOL, vertical takeoff and I hope are you clear on the categorization of UAS?
Hello, sir. Your voice was not audible.
I was not audible.
Yeah, sometimes it was not good clarity.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sir. Now it is okay.
So
Yes,
in
now it
case
is okay.
yeah, in case you are not able to hear me, please let me know because I cannot come to know whether I'm audible to you or not. So in case you
Mhm.
are, please make me understand. Sometimes maybe because of the internet signal or something like that. Maybe at my end or it could be at your end also. In
Hmm.
case you have missed some point, please tell me so that I can repeat it. Okay, so I was talking about UAS, which stands for Unmanned Aircraft System. Okay, UAS is categorized as rotorcraft, aeroplane, and hybrid. Okay, when we are talking about drone rules 2021, we are only talking about unmanned aircraft system. Okay, so rotorcraft is nothing but the same what the drone we fly regularly. Aeroplane is again a unmanned aircraft system. Okay, it is an unmanned aircraft system, remotely flown by the remote pilot. And the hybrid is nothing but a combination of rotorcraft and aeroplane. Okay, so hybrid is also called as VTOL, where we talk about vertical takeoff and landing. So I hope now you are clear on the categorization of the unmanned aircraft system in three categories:
Yeah,
Yes.
the
yeah,
rotorcraft, aeroplane, and hybrid. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So this is how you actually categorize. There is a subcategories also, but I am not talking as of now that because I do not want to. Lot of people I have seen, lot of students get confused when I introduce the subcategory also. So as of now, I am leaving aside the subcategories. The subcategories of these main categories of the drone. We will see sometime later. But with respect to the classification, okay, classification of unmanned aircraft system in India as per the DGCA is based on the weight. Okay, understand one thing. It is based on the weight. Okay, so we have five class of drones. One is nano, second is micro, third is small, fourth is medium, and fifth is large. So all these five classifications are based on the weight. Okay. Nano is less than 250 grams. Nano is less than 250 grams. Micro is more than 250 grams, but less than 2 kg. Whereas small is 2 kg to 25 kg. Medium is 25 kg to 150 kg. Whereas large is more than 150 kg. So are you clear now on the categorization or the classification of the drones with respect to the weight? Yes,
Yes.
Shailesh.
Yes, sir. Are we getting this study material?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. End of this session, you will get a summary sheet as well as you will get the actual documents from where these slides are measured, given to you.
Yeah, means just now you told the classification, right? The weight of this category. So, is this means included in that document?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you, sir.
So you can take a screenshots of these slides as you feel important, or you can make a note of yourself. But definitely, I will be sharing the main documents. See, these are I'll show you the drone rules 2021. Okay, how does it look? Which will give a clarity of understanding the drone rules. Okay, why I have put up in a presentation format. I will so that it gives a clarity to you. Let me know once you are able to see it.
Yeah, is it? It is visible.
Yeah. See,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
this is almost a 43-page document, which is we called as a Drone Rules 2021. This is the first document which you need to read, and this is the most important. I mean, all your training is based on this document.
Okay.
But if you see this document, uh, initially 50% of this document is in Hindi. It is in two languages, Hindi and English.
Okay.
come to English part. Okay. So it start from here. You can see Ministry of Civil Aviation notification, New Delhi, 25th August 2021. So this is the day when these rules were released. It is visible to you, right?
Yes,
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 sir.
Let
yes.
me, if I want to make it a little bit bigger. So whereas the draft drone rules 2021, which the central government has proposed to make in supersession of unmanned aircraft rules 2021, was published as required under section 14 of Aircraft Act 1934, 22 of 1934. I mean, it is just talking about which line item they have, under what line item it has been. Okay, with notification of Government of India in the Ministry of Civil Aviation under the GSR 489A draft dated 15th July 21 in the Gazette of India Extraordinary Part 2 blah blah dated 15th July 2021, inviting objections and suggestions from all persons likely to be affected thereby before the specified period. Okay, so on 15th of July, they have approached a lot of people, and they have received objections, suggestions with respect to the draft rule within the period. So, and whatever the suggestions were taken, the valid suggestions were taken into the consideration. And with respect to the powers under Section 5, subsection 2, Section 10, and Section 10A, 10B, 10A of Aircraft Act 1934, 22 of 1934, the central government hereby makes the following rules, namely the drone rules. Okay, so these rules may be called as drone rules 2021. Okay, shall come into the force on the date of their publication, that was 25th August. So 15th July से लेके 15th August तक, almost they have given 1 month period for people from this industry, to make any objections or suggestions with respect to the draft rules. So those draft rules were circulated to lot many people who are part of the aviation industries or drone industries or aeromodeling part. So, those nominant people were introduced, and a team was formed. Almost 20-25 people from various organizations were part of that team. They had gone through those draft rules, and then finally on 25th of August 1921, these rules were released, and these rules were called as Drone Rules 2021. Okay, they shall come into the force on the date of their publication in official gazette. Okay, whom these rules? So this is rule number one. What is it called? It is called Drone Rules 2021. Okay. So you need to know. I mean, I'm not saying you need to mug up these rules or something, but there are 55 rules through which the drone rules are being developed. So not necessarily all 55 rules you will know on day one or something like that. As you encounter, go through them, you learn them regularly, read them regularly, you will able to know more and more about it. And as next 2 days we are going to talk with these lines only, so we will know more and more about this rule, and automatically the rules will uh, get memorized or get imparted into our understanding of the drones rules. So why whom these rules? So rule number two is application of rules. For whom these rules are applicable. So similar to the aircraft, you have seen 1944 Act, okay, or 1957 rules. So all person owing, possessing, engaged in operating, transferring, maintaining, and unmanned aircraft, all unmanned aircraft that are registered in all unmanned aircraft that are being operated for time being in and uh, these lines are almost similar to yours, but however, it is only talking about unmanned aircraft. How it is saying about aircraft, now saying unmanned aircraft. That do not have a pilot within the aircraft. It is piloted outside the aircraft. That is called unmanned aircraft. All persons owning or possessing or engage in using, operating, transferring, or maintaining an unmanned aircraft in India, unmanned aircraft that are registered in India, all unmanned aircraft that are operated for time being in. There could be, I mean, I can get a unmanned aircraft system from US like Predator drones and fly over Indian airspace. Okay, but
Yeah.
I have to follow 2021 drone rules 2021. Okay, I can have my own drones. Like Bombay Flying can have their own drones, but I can give it to on lease to Zentech for their operations.
Hmm.
That point in time also I'm leasing. Okay, or maybe I can transfer it to you for a period of 1 year. Okay, or I can own the drone, but you can maintain that drone. There are people who are, owner is different and maintaining is somebody else. So whatever scenario it is, you need to follow drone rules 2021. That is what this document talks about. So what is it says? Rule number 2.2, the provision of aircraft rule 1937 shall not apply to unmanned aircraft system except in case of unmanned aircraft system with maximum all-off weight of more than 500 kilograms. That means these rules will not be applicable to the drones which is having maximum all-off weight more than
500 kilos.
so what they will follow? They will follow aircraft rules 1937. They will not follow drone rules 2020. Whereas any drone which is less than 500 kilograms, they have to follow drone rules 2021. Okay, so see basically, uh, if you go through these rules, one by one, uh, I mean, it is very difficult because the way the language is being interpreted. Okay, it becomes very difficult to understand. So we have broke these rules into a simpler slides for understanding purpose. But time and being, we will always try to compare the slides with the rules. So when end of this session, I will be sharing you this rules document as well as the summary sheet, which will give you the summarization of each module. Like as we are doing right now, stakeholder laws and basic drone rules, it is summarized into one single page document. So this document, Drone Rules 2021, and the summary sheet, what I am going to share you end of the day, it is just an 11-page document. Okay, but it will talk about complete your theory sessions. Whatever you have covered into the theory, it is been summarized. Okay, so as per my understanding and over the period of training, and as I got trained, we have made a summary document, okay, which is very helpful for student to remember. I mean, there are see, in a totality you can read everything, but when you are actually want to remember, you need to remember key points with respect to the drone rules or operations. So we have summarized them into the summary documents. Okay, you don't need see if you need in detail, you can always follow the bigger documents, the drone rules 2021 or subsequent amendment documents. All that you can follow. But as you learn or you are you're doing day-to-day operations, you always follow the summary sheets. Okay, the summary sheet will cover all of your requirements. Okay, so I hope you understood what is category and classification. So whatever we are seeing here is covered under the drone rules document. Okay, I once I finish these couple of slides, again we'll go back to that document and see what was said in the slides, what is there in those documents. So we'll keep going back and forth. Okay,
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Okay.
clear and you see that how we are structured when we are imparting the training. Okay,
Yes.
Okay, sir.
so wherever you feel particular slide is important, you can take a screenshot or you can take a picture through your mobile or whatever you require. And as I have made a group, I would be sharing some images also with respect to key points, like I could share with respect to the categorization and classification of the drone. So there are images which are made, which will be helpful. So you just see that image, everything will be clear for you. Okay,
Hmm.
so as we progress, the things will unfold for you. Okay,
Okay.
initially you will have ये क्या nano micro, how I remember nano is only 2 kilo 250 grams, or how will I know micro? But there is lot many things, and as you see the slide, further slides, things picture will become more clear and clear. Okay, so don't worry about initial stage. It may look ye kya hai, or it could be like difficult, or how do I remember, and all these things would come into your mind. But don't worry, we are there for next 2 days and then 3 days practical at Igatpuri. And after 5 days, our session is not. I mean, our engagement is not going to end over there, but it just began now. Okay, so now for our lifetime we are connected. So any given point in time you feel any clarification, any information you require, feel free to reach me even after the class, even after your batch. Okay. So I am
Yes.
there for you to give you as much as information I can provide. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
So as we talked about the categorization again, see in the first slide you see I have not put pictures because I want in your mind to have that curiosity. अभी रोटोग्राफ बोले तो क्या होता है, दिखता कैसे है,
Mhm.
yeah, aeroplane कैसे? If I can put pictures over here, but I purposely kept it blank because I want to build that curiosity among yourself. Here I can put all that information what I am saying, okay, to you. But then वो दिखेगा तो वो picture अच्छा इधर है ना सब कुछ. I will not pay. You will not pay what I am attention to what I am trying to say. That's why I have not mentioned here all those things. I am just saying verbally. Okay, but subsequent slide you will have that all information what I am saying. So if you see categorization. Okay, we talked about rotorcraft. So you can see the drone on your right side, the four propellers with the four propellers and everything. Then you see the aeroplane is like similar to your aeroplane. Okay, whereas hybrid, you can see it is like a aeroplane plus rotorcraft. So it has a wings like an aeroplane, but also has four rotors on it so that it can do uh, functionality like how rotorcraft flies, but however it can also transition like an aeroplane. Okay? So depending upon its requirement, it will function as a rotorcraft and it will also transition to aeroplane as it requires. So that's why it is called as hybrid or VTOL. So all these three categories are further subcategorized as remotely piloted aircraft system, or also called as model RPAS, or also as a autonomous UAS. So depending upon these three subcategories, this can be done. Okay. So like for example, let's talk about rotorcraft. Rotorcraft can be remotely piloted aircraft system. Means what? You have a drone and you have a remote where you are actually flying it. Okay. Whereas model RPAS is basically the same rotorcraft, but it is not registered as a type certified drone. Okay. That's why it is called as a model RPAS. Means before going for a type certification, your drone or a rotorcraft is called as a model RPAS. Okay. It is in a model format. I mean, you are developing a drone. In that scenario, it is subcategorized as a model RPAS. Okay, whereas when it is remotely piloted aircraft system or it is autonomous unmanned aircraft system, that point in time it is a type certified. That means it is certified device. It is a certified vehicle. It is certified aircraft. Okay, so that's what you need to understand. So model RPAS more or less comes in a picture when you are developing a drone or you are developing a aero model or aeroplane, okay, for aero modeling purpose and all that, or maybe a hybrid drone also. So when they are initial stage of development, okay, you are building. So that point in time, it is categorized as model RPAS. Okay, lot of time you build aeroplanes also, but you don't get them registered as a type certified device. So in that scenario also, it is still continued as a model RPAS. Whereas when it is a type certified UAS, it will be either categorized, subcategorized as remotely piloted aircraft. When that means the pilot who is actually flying that drone, then it is called remotely piloted aircraft system. Or remote pilot would be there, but he is not actually flying. He is just monitoring, or he is just there seeing the operations. But the drone is being flown autonomously. Like for example, in agriculture, when I want to do a spraying activity in a field, I will never fly a drone manually. Okay, I will always prefer to build a mission plan for that and fly my drone so that I'm optimally using my drone for spraying activities. नहीं तो मैं manually करूँगा तो every time I have to control, I have to take off, I have to fly over the field. I do not know. I mean, there won't be any uniformity in my flying because I am flying randomly and I am doing it remotely. So I really don't know where actually I am flying on a field. Let's say I am doing a spraying on a farm of like let's say 2 acres of land. 2 acre is a very huge area. I cannot be on the in the farm every now and then. Okay, when I'm spraying, I will be either standing on the corner or a little bit away from the farm. So every part of the farm is not visible to me or not similar to me from that particular point. So in that scenario, I will be always flying a drone in autonomous mode or automatic. Okay, so I'll be making a mission or a plan, and the drone would be flying within that area. But there are some activities where I cannot really fly the drone in autonomous mode. For example, during disaster or during let's say some monitoring or some activity which are very haphazard or ad hoc. Okay, in that scenario, I have to deploy a remote pilot aircraft system or a pilot who actually flies the drone. So I will give an example, classic example, like a couple of like 2023. I was working for one of the startup where they have taken up a project of flying the drone for monitoring and scanning or mapping surveillance of the telecom towers in Bihar. Okay, so initially there was no software or there was no tool how to fly a drone near the power line towers. Okay, so we were actually left getting the pilots manually fly the drone and capture the images of those power line towers, capture the videos of those power line towers. Okay, but over the period of time, based on our learning, and then there were a couple of softwares or some couple of organizations who thought that we can develop a software for this kind of activity, and we can program a drone so that it follows a uniform way of flying and captures the data in a very structured uniform way. There was a software developed which can be used for doing the autonomous flying. So when initially we were manually doing or when we were manually flying the drones for the power line towers activity, in a day we could hardly do 3 towers or 5 towers max. But as we develop a software for this kind of activity, in autonomous methodology, we could do the same activity in a day. I can do somewhere around 10 to 12 towers or sometimes even 15 towers in a day. So see how efficiency has improved from manual flying to the autonomous. And this is, I mean, could be possible because of the AI part, okay, or ML part, as we introduce this AI and ML. You see, the drone industry and computer industry or other technologies are intertwined between each other. It's not about only the aerospace or aviation part. You are, you are talking about drone. That's what I said. When you talk about computers in 18th century. Similarly, right now the drone is into as and as things are getting implemented, as the things are getting adopted into the drone industry, you see there is a integrity or integration happening between different industries. Civil industry has also adopted rotorcraft drones flying for their monitoring, surveillance, progress monitoring kind of activities. And all the surveillance what initially used to have right from beginning of the plot till the building is made or the structure is made. It could be a bridge, it could be a tower, or whatever it could be. You know, the drone has been enormously been adopted into this kind of requirements. Okay, so are you clear on the categorization and subcategorization of the drone?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am actually not seeing the time. Okay, normally I don't follow much of the time with respect to what we say the points what we have put up. So I keep on going the sessions so that more and more can be given to you. Okay, so right now we are at 11:30. We have a break, and we still are at our first session only. We are supposed to complete our session 2, basic types of design. But don't worry, within the time frame, we'll able to do it everything. Okay, here and there, plus minus. I mean, I hope you are
Okay, okay, sir. No problem.
okay with the flow of the sessions I'm doing.
Yeah, it's
No,
okay, sir.
it's okay.
It's okay.
So 11:30 we'll have a small break for just going for a washroom or anything, or maybe a tea break, and then we'll proceed further. So meanwhile, let's finish with our drone rules, and then we'll start with basic principles of flight.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So we spoke about the categorization of US in India. See, I have written specific to India. Okay, because these are basically drone rules 2020. If you see US or European or Australian or Singapore, different countries or different locations follow different rules and regulations. But again, they are following the same what is been derived by ICAO. There are minor changes here and there. Okay, so as of now, whatever, since we are going to get licensed or certified with respect to the Indian Drone Rule 2021, we are following whatever is being specified under Drone Rules 2021. Okay. So with respect to that categorization, subcategorization, let's see what is the classification now. We saw nano, micro, small, medium, and large. See, now I have put the picture. Okay, so you see nano is less than 250 grams, micro is 250 grams to 2 kg, small is 2 kg to 25 kg, medium is 25 kg to 150 kg. But as of now, under medium class, it is only limited up to 50 kg, or they have only authorized people who are conducting or training or maybe some kind of a testing or even flying, or some operational activities they are going to do. They are given limit only up to 50 kg. They are not gone up to 150 kg, the outer limit whatever. So whatever people have the authorization of flying the medium class drones, they have only limit up to 50 kg. Whereas large is more than 150 kg. Till what is the outer limit of large? Any idea?
500.
500. Okay, the moment it crosses 500, it is no longer under this class. It will be
Yeah.
following, it will not be following Drone Rules 2021. It will be following
1937.
1990 Aircraft Rules 1997.
1937.
37, sorry. Yeah, 37, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so now are you clear on classification of US with respect to the India?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So in India, the drones are classified based on the weight. Okay, based on the total weight. Okay, when we say this 25 kg, 25 kg means it's not only the drone, but even if there is a payload attached to it. Okay, let's say if I attach a payload to this small drone, okay, and the weight goes to 25 kg, more than 25 kg, then this drone will not be classified as a small. It will classified as a medium.
Medium.
Okay, so including your payload, it should be less than 25 kg. Even here in medium, if you are putting some supply, okay, or something you are attached to this drone, though it is as of now it has been approved till 50 kg. If you are above 50 kg, you are unauthorized or you are not approved. But within 25 to 50 kg, you are approved. Okay, if it is more than 150 kg, you are not no longer considered under classification of medium class. You will go directly into large. Okay, similarly for micro and nano also. Nano you have lot of relaxation with respect to the drone rules, right? Similarly for micro also there are relaxed. So maximum, if you see globally, whatever the drones are being flown or flying or in operations, they are in this class, small class, 2 kg to 25 kg. So all your drones, whatever the industry, whether it is in agriculture, surveillance, monitoring, or medical supply, or aerial cinematography, or whatever you see, they are maximum into this class. That is small class. That is the reason why we are doing the certification into this. Only recently there are organizations which are approved to conduct a training into the medium. So from small, maybe down the line, if you feel that you are having a drone of more than 25 kg, then only you should proceed to get certified under medium class. Okay, like there are some agriculture drones which are actually now classified under the medium class, about 25. But I will give an example also. there is not much difference from small and medium. Only the weight is getting changed. But why the weight is changed? And that's why the class is getting changed. But more or less, the drone which belongs to small or medium, they are of similar type or category or functionality type. If you are able to fly a small drone, more or less, the training or the flying remains same for me. Okay, so there is no difference. Only if you are officially flying a medium class drone, then only you should proceed for obtaining the license in medium class. So maybe down the line, you both can in future can apply after 3 months or 6 months, apply for medium class certificate. Okay. So as of now, your small class license is more than enough for all your flights.
Yes, sir.
On the classification, any
Yeah.
questions?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, so these are some classifications with respect to the range. Now here, see, I have not written India. I have written Federal Aviation of America. Okay, so this is like Hummingbird VTOL or Predator. This is the drone which actually Indian government has purchased from US, right? Or Skystar hybrid VTOL or Global Hawk or maybe MD 200 MEU. So these are some classification. They are not with respect to the weight. In US, they are being classified based on the range or altitude, at what height they can be flown. Based on that, they have classified. So there is a difference between the regulations or the rules with respect to the India or with respect to US. Furthermore, like you can see here they might be categorized as micro, mini, but the range is less than 10 kilometers and altitude is 300 meters. Okay, whereas medium altitude, long endurance, so they are more than 500 kilometers, but altitude it can go up to 3000 meters. Okay, whereas high altitude, long endurance, it is called beyond 2000 kilometers, but altitude it can go up to 20,000 meters. Okay, whereas VTOL UAV it can be within range of 5 to 200 kilometers. Height it can carry is 6,000 meters. Okay, and then based on these drones, they have their endurance capacity and maximum weight it can carry. Okay, so these are some examples of the drones what we have seen in the earlier pictures. These drones. Okay, so again this is with respect to the federal aviation. Okay, so these are not applicable to us as of now, but just for a difference, I am just put these slides so that you understand how the Indian drone rules are being designed and developed, and how the drone rules are with respect to the other countries. Okay, so now classification by size here. Okay, so you see very small, it is less than 50 centimeters. It is called mini when it is around 50 centimeters to 2 meters. Medium it is called between 5 meters to 10 meters. And large is more than 10 meters. So you can see from the perspective of the size, they are being classified. Whereas Indian government or drone rules 2021 is classified based on the weight. Whereas they are here classified based on the size. Okay, as well as they have a limitation with respect to the range and altitude. Okay, at what they can be flown. Okay, if they are in micro and mini category, or if they are in medium category, I mean classification, if they are in high classification or in vital classification, and then with respect to the size, how the Federal Aviation is been classifying their unmanned aircraft systems for their devices. Okay,
Okay, sir.
now we know now what are the categories of the drones, classification of the drones. Now once we have these drones, so we develop based on the category and based on the class a drone. So if I have developed that drone, I have to make sure that that drone is being type certified. Type certified means they are carrying or they are authorized. If your drone is type certified, then only you can make production of that drones and you can sell it, or you can lease it, or you can operate it for yourself. Okay. So what is the rule say? Type certification says no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system in India unless such unmanned aircraft system conforms to a type certificate or is exempted from the requirement of type certificate. So see how complicated. See, this is exact words from the document. So it becomes very difficult to understand when we still I have put it here just because I cannot put it in a better way. I want it to be similarity of what is said in the document. What is saying? No person shall operate unmanned aircraft. No person should operate a drone in India unless such drone conforms to a type. When I am doing a training to you, I cannot use any other drone for the training purpose. I have to make sure that it's a type certified drone. That's why you must have remembered when I was talking to you about this course, I said we are using DGCA type certified drones for our training. Okay, we are using DGCA type certified drones. Okay, and but for certain activities or certain operations or certain category, the type certification is not required. Like for example, your nano drone, you don't require your nano drone to be a type certified because nano drone is not meant for applications or civil activity. They are basically made for fun or for recreational activities, so you really don't require your nano drone to be type certified. But if you feel you want to go ahead with the type certification for nano drone, you can also go for it, but unnecessary, it will be a wastage for you because nano drone is not required to carry a type certification. Okay. Who is authorized to do all these things? So, Director General or any entity authorized by Director General. When we say Director General means DGC. Okay. Director General in his behalf or this behalf may, on the recommendation of Quality Council of India or an authorized testing entity, issues a type certificate for any particular type of unmanned aircraft. That means what? There are bodies like quality council. So DGCA has appointed quality council to see the quality of the drones. Okay, but then quality council is just a body. It doesn't approve or do test the drone on its own. So it will authorize some testing entity. So initially, when drone rules were fabricated, within 6 months, the DGCA appointed quality council to do this type certification activity, and quality council of India authorized four entities to conduct the testing of the drones for the type certification. Okay, so only once this authorized testing entity gives their report to Quality Council of India, and then further Quality Council of India gives report to DGCA, and DGCA, once it is satisfied with whatever the reports are being submitted by QCI to them, or whether the authorized testing intensity, whatever the reports are being given to Quality Council of India, subsequently it will pass on to the higher bodies for authorizing or doing the giving the type certificate drone, a type certification for that particular drone. Okay, so DGCA will take for this complete process approximately 75 days. So 60 days are given for QCI and authorized testing entity. Once you made an application in this form, what you see on the right side, form D1. Okay, so now you should know what are the forms. There are different types of forms which you need to fill for different activities. So if you want your drones to be applied for a type certification, you need to fill this form, D1 form. We call it as a D1 form. Okay, it will have lot many other. I mean, this is just a part of a form. Okay, in detail, you will see that form in your drone rules 2021. There are annexures with all the forms. Okay, so this form D1 is for type certification. You fill that form and give it to. Just give me a minute. I got some call.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. So form D1 is basically for application for type certification. Okay. So moment you make this application and submit this application, it is been given to Quality Council of India and then it is given to authorized testing center. So authorized testing center will take 60 days. They have a period within 60 days they have to make the report of your drone which is being submitted for type certificate. But not necessarily it will be completed within 60 days. The moment you submit your documents, moment you submit your drone for testing, they will do. And then if there are some objections or some issues, they will raise it and then they will give you subsequent time, maybe like 15 days or 1 month period or whatever it is, or maybe 7 days also, depending upon the objection and all the things. And they will ask you to submit uh, the necessary corrections or necessary justifications for those objections. So the moment they raise the objection, your meter stops there, okay, of 60 days. So it will till you respond back. So for them, it is a 60 days time frame where they actually work, but that will be overruled by a period like some type certification could take 3 months, some type certification could take 6 months, or some certain type certification also take an year period, okay, more than a year. Okay. So again, it depends upon that. The moment all your objections, everything been cleared, and Quality Council of India gets the report from Authorized Testing Center, it submits its report to the Director General of India for giving the type certification for your drone. They will take 15 days. So total period is 60 plus 15, that is 75 working days or the days which is required for DGCA to certify a drone as a type certified. Bearing all those time where the objections are raised, you are working on those justification and all the things, those are excluded. It is only the time frame when DGCA or the Quality Council of India is actually validating your drone. Okay, that is 75 days. But over the period, it could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year also. Sometimes some organizations have taken more than a year because see, lot of time initially what we have seen is a lot of people, they just if filling a form and giving a drone is a simple thing. But there are a lot of background work you need to do. You need to prepare documents. You need to prepare manuals. You need to have reports of your drones, right from all the components, from battery to your propellers, to your motors, to your flight controllers, to your frame, all the aspects. So there is a document which is been defined by Quality Council of India. If you are going for a type certification, what all things you need to do with respect to type certification of a drone. So a lot of people don't read that document or do not follow that document. उनको क्या लगता था मैंने मेरा drone build कर दिया, now my drone is ready and I can submit it for type certification. No, you have to go through that document, you have to follow that document, you have to build as per that document your drone as well as your documentation also, as well as your reports. Okay, like your battery has to be certified, your battery has to be defined, how it is going to function, how many life cycles it will sustain, what is the voltage it can go up to maximum, how much. I mean, a lot of technical specifications of the things, be it motor, be it propeller, be it frame, be it AC, be it your flight controller or the other components in that, the software, hardware, the firmware, then your frame, the landing gear, the GPS module, IMU modules, whatever it goes inside the drone, everything will have its own documentation, its reports, its technical specification. All that needs to be submitted, and they will validate and they will scrutinize each and every point line by line. Okay? So Quality Council of India also has a training program which actually they train people. So I have done this training program also. When they had this training program, it happens more or less like quarterly or 6 months, in a 6 month, once in a 6 month kind of thing, where you can attend that training and then you can become a consultant for type certification. So I am already doing, apart from the training part, I am already doing the consultancy for a couple of OEMs who are actually building their drones and helping them, to get their drones type certified from DPCA. So there are a lot of work is there. so much work and efforts is required for getting a type. I will tell you the cost of a getting drone type certified is almost 50 lakh rupees. 35 to 40, 50 lakhs is minimum required for getting your drone type certified. This is the cost apart from all other things. Okay, registering and all this. This is the background cost, like building the drone, testing the drone, getting the spares, getting the documentation ready, applying for type certification, all that thing. So somewhere around 35, 40 to 50 lakhs is max what is required for a drone to be getting type certified by the dealers. Okay.
For building as well as type certificate, for both of that, we need 25, 35 lakhs, you are saying, or
Yes.
only for type certificate?
Building.
Building also, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, building also. I mean, you need to build components also. No? You need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
frame, you need to get batteries, you need to get power modules, you need to get motor and all that. I mean, including. So when you
Hmm.
say type certification, means you are building the drone and then you're going for a type certificate.
Okay, sir.
So what is the application and procedure for type certificate? Any person who intend to obtain a type shall make an application in form D1 on the digital Sky platform along with the fee specified in rule number 46. So every time you will encounter whenever there is a fee specified. So remember rule number 46, it talks about fees and the following: the particulars of the applicant, then details and required documents in respect to the prototype of US as specified therein. Then the prototype US shall be physically handed over to authorized testing entities. So ideally, they will, you are supposed to give one drone, but the testing entities will ask you to submit three drones. Okay. So you see, you are making cost of the drone is three times over there. Then these bodies, like just making an application and engaging a testing entity, they charge somewhere around 3 lakhs to 4 lakh rupees for this activity. Then their person will come and see what your facility, how you have built the drone, how are you flying the drone, how you are testing. All that things also happens at your place. As well as they will ask you to send your drone to their facility also for their testing. Okay, it could be tested in a very high temperature, it could be tested in low temperature, and other aspects. Like for example, I'll give an example. You specified that my drone with the current landing gear is capable of doing 500 times landing. Okay, that means 500 times it is flying and it is able to withstand 500 times landing. So how do you certify that? You have to test your drone by doing 500 times landing. Okay, you need to test your drone every time you land. What is the stress it has gone through when it is landed? Whether there is any deformity, whether there is any issue, whether there is any bend or any material getting chipped off or deformed at the landing position, or whether there is an impact of because of landing on the other components of the drone. All that aspects you need to check. If you say your drone is 500 times capable of landing, you should have some supporting documents for those claims. Okay, or else they will also say, okay, you show me or you do it, or they will do it themselves, by testing it, and then they will tell you like if 500 drone 400 drones में आपका drone का landing gear break हो गया or something like that, it is not certified. So they will ask you to recertify, recheck all that things based on your claims. You say that your battery is supporting 200 charging cycles. They will test it, or they have a mechanism to test all these functions. So based on that, they will certify your. If there is some deviation or anything, they will ask you to correct it or ask you to resubmit your reports or your justification. So that's how the QCI and the testing body interact with the OEMs during this type of. There would be some person would be authorized from QCI or testing body who will be interacting with you as the OEM tester or accountable manager point, and he will be keep on interacting with you. But once you the testing body and the OEM are clear with their understanding and in the drone as well as the documentation system. Then they will submit to the QCI, and then QCI will further submit it to the DPC. Quality Council or authorizing testing entity shall examine the proposal and submit the test report along with the recommendation to the Director General within 60 days from the date of receipt of the application. So, on this basis of the test report, along with the recommendation, the Director General shall issue the applicant a type certificate for a specific type of unmanned aircraft system within 15 days of receiving test report. Got it? So 60 days for QCI and the authorized testing entities, and 15 days for DPCA to get your drone types. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
acceptance of approval given for the foreign regulators. Like there might be some drones which would be, as we said, that we can always have drones from outside or the foreign people. So on the basis of approval granted to any type of unmanned aircraft system by such a contracting states, means countries. Like we are getting US drones. Like suppose I'm getting US drone for my some operations or some drones, like maybe a DJI drone, for example. Then I have to apply to central government of India, okay, based on whatever it is. Then only they will give you a type certification for that type of unmanned aircraft. As of now, DJI drones are been banned by India completely. Okay, so they are not giving you any authorization for doing the type certification of DJI drones. But there are other drones which you can bring. But before bringing, you have to do all this documentation. If they allow, then only you have to proceed. Okay, now let's say you are importing any drones. Okay, so import of unmanned aircraft systems shall be regulated by DGCA of foreign trade or any other entity authorized by the central government. So as of now, DGFT is only the organization or subsequent entity. If there is, then only they will only authorize you to importing of the unmanned aircraft systems. Okay, which are the drones, which are the type or the classification of the drones which are exempted from type certification is a model remotely pilot aircraft system. Okay, and the not nano unmanned aircraft system. So nano is completely exempted from the type obtaining a type certification, and model remotely piloted aircraft system means for example, I build a drone. I mean I build an aeroplane for aero modeling category. So those are, but again they have to follow the weight limit. No? You can't just build any size. बहुत बड़ा बनाया बोला ये मेरा model है. You can't do that. So whatever the weight definition they have defined, only that model is being exempted. And if you're saying that that is a model remotely piloted aircraft system, following whatever is specified as per the drone rules, they are being exempted for obtaining the type certificate. Okay, so no type certificate shall be required for operating following a model remotely piloted aircraft system and nano unmanned aircraft system. So even model means what? Before type certification, they are all model only, right? Or a prototype, correct?
Yes.
Again, but there are further more rules. I mean, this one single sentence doesn't mean that you are authorized anywhere to fly. You have to follow. There are other rules and regulations attached to this exemptions or requirements. In totality, you have to see what all things are written in Drone Rules 2021 with respect to all those permutations and combinations. Then only you can do it. It's not that कि मेरा से model rule, model remotely piloted aircraft system is I am exempted from that. It's not like that. There are other rules also which we need to follow and find. So we'll see subsequently what is what. So again, there are some mandatory features which government has proposed, but in future by notification official gazette, specific safety features installed on unmanned. So if you see drone rules 2021, there are three as of now features which they say these are required. But out of these three features, only one is been implemented, whereas remaining two are still not enforced. Okay? They will come in near future. Okay? The first one is no permission, no takeoff for hardware or firmware. Then second one is real-time beacon that communicates the unmanned aircraft system location, altitude, speed, and unique identification number. And the third is geofencing capability. So these are the three safety features which needs to be there in the unmanned aircraft system. But out of these three, these first two, like no permission, no takeoff, and the real-time beacon, these are not as of now become mandatory. As of now, only geofencing capabilities is required in your drone to become a type certified. There are drones with these features, but they are not considered during the type certification as of now because their operations is limited to as of now only for VLOS condition, that is visual line of sight. So you can fly drone as much far as much you can see, and your visual flying capacity is only up to, let's say, max 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, or max 3 kilometers. That is again subjective to person, subjective to flying condition, subjective to visual conditions. Okay. So as of now, only mandatory safety feature is geofencing capability. That means you should have a drone where you can restrict a boundary, a virtual boundary in which your drone can be flew. Okay, so if you are flying on a field, you can define a boundary. This is a horizontal boundary. Okay, I'm talking about. And then there is some limitation which we talk about height. So that height is already there, but within a virtual horizontal boundary, you should able to define that boundary so that your drone doesn't go that boundary. So that geofencing facility has to be there, or that capability has to be there in your drone. These are requirement. This is mandatory requirement. And subsequently, Government of India has already, if you see the type certification document, there are some other features also required as of safety features, or related to safety things are there, but those are not as of now required. Okay, because only as of now, geofencing is the only requirement for the type certification. Okay, so if you are like, this is the second form. Okay, registration, sale, or deregistration of drones. Okay, registration means you are first registering the drone, you are selling the drone, then you have to do a transfer, and then you are doing re-registration of drones in case of any issue related to drone. So no person shall operate unmanned aircraft system without obtaining a unique identification number unless exempted. Okay, like for example, you are building a drone. So when you are building a drone, that time you are flying the drone. But that point in time, you are not required to have a UIN number. When you will have a UIN number, when your drone is type certified, or your drone is already there, like you purchase a DJI drone, or you purchase any drone from any other organization, and you have a drone. So if you want to fly that drone, you have to make sure that that drone is registered on the digital sky platform. Okay, until or unless you are exempted. Like for example, nano drone are not required to be registered, but there are people who are registered even nano drone type. Okay, so it is all subjective. Like no, nano drone has been exempted from registration on the digital side. Okay, a registration record shall be maintained by the DGC. That is what we call as digital sky platform. It shall be the responsibility of the person operating an unmanned aircraft system to ensure that the sure US confirms the valid type certification. That means it is a person who has flying, or operating unmanned aircraft system to ensure that he conforms to the valid type certificate of the drone. So though this is there as of now, even the DJI drones which are not actually the type certified. So government is not so stringent because they want people to have more and more adoption of the drone. So they have some relaxation on the usage or operations of the drone. Okay? So it's not necessary like for your own purpose you can fly drone which is not type certified. But when for example when I was doing a project for power line towers, okay, or people are doing projects for telecom towers monitoring or for solar panels monitoring, or for example in survey kind of thing, like there was a scheme going on for surveying the villages and all that things. So in that scenario, government of India has made it very clearly for all these activities you have to use a type certified drone only. So you cannot use any non-type certified drones kind of thing. So that is what it is saying. So depending upon the requirement and depending upon the usage, you need to confirm to what type of certificate. But it is saying it is responsibility of a person. That means a pilot operating unmanned to ensure that he is using valid type certificate. For example, you are doing a telecom survey. Okay, so you try to do as much as using a type. There are type certified drones which are available for doing surveys also. Okay, so there is a company by name Asteria. Okay, So Asteria Aerospace makes surveillance drones. Now there is a company by name Surivan, okay, by Nibras Technologies. They also make drones which are actually type certified for surveillance. Similarly, if you are doing agriculture activity, so any agriculture farm, you are doing spraying or seeding or any activity related to agriculture, and you need to get a benefit from the government schemes, you have to do it using type certified drones only. You cannot use third party drones or drones which are not type certified. Like in south of India, like especially in Kerala and all, we have seen a lot of people are flying drones which are not type certified, but they look similar to type certified. So there are people who had bought all the components from China and the build drones. They look exactly similar to the type certified drones. So those are being flown, whereas people do not know they are not type certified. Okay.
And for the photography related thing, so many people are using now, sir.
DJI drones.
Yeah.
See, as of now, there is no. See, photography is again personal. Like for you are using it for like wedding photography or some movie and all that. There, they do not have any requirements as that you only have to use types of. Until unless that producer or the person, like for example, I have my son's wedding, and I insist that I want a footage to be given by only a type certified drone only. Then only it will require come into the picture. But then the cost of that service will increase. Whereas the person who is giving similar service using DJI drone will be cheaper. Okay, so it depends upon because type certified drones will cost more to that person to provide that kind of service. Whereas the person who is having a DJI drone, it will be cheaper for him. So accordingly, he will provide a cheaper service to you.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So as of now, though the rules are there, somewhere the rules are very mandatory and you have to follow. But somewhere, as of now, the government of India is giving you some relaxation into it. Okay,
Mm.
considering the safety, security, and compliance, there are some relaxation is being provided. Okay, like for example, you are doing wedding photography or aerial photography. There you don't require to use a type certified drone. You can use normal DJI drone also. A lot of people are using DJI drones. Some projects where they just require footage. So they are not specifying that you do it using type certified drone. You can use any drone as far as you give me what I require. Because later on I am going to process that data or I am having another company which process my data and we will going to give me report. So based on their requirement, people are doing all this. Like, but for example, like Samvita scheme was there by government of India. There they have mentioned that initially they had relaxed that initially for first six months or 8 months, there was no source specification where you have to use a type certified drone because that point in time there were no type certified drones only in the market. So they have to rely on whatever the drones were available. So initially, whatever the survey had happened, that time people have used DJI drones. But once the type certified drones were available, government of India has made initially it was 50-50, like whether if you are able to take type certified drone, use type certified drone, or you don't have, you want to use DJI drones, but you have to give it in a writing. Okay, all that things. There are some documentation needs to be done at that point accordingly, and you do it. But later on, then government of India said that no, you have to do use type certified. Like for example, our project, power line tower monitoring. In that it was very clearly written in a tender document. You have to use type certified.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's see how to register the drone or what is the requirement for registering a drone. So in a simple term, unique identification number is nothing but license plate of an unmanned aircraft. How you register your car and you get a number plate on it. Similarly, your drone, when you registered on the platform, you will get something called as UIN number. Called as UIN number. Okay. Unique identification number. It's very unique number for a drone. So no two drone will have a same UIN number. Okay, so it will be a unique. So you can see here on the picture, like this is a DJI Phantom. If you registered, you will get a UIN number, and you have to fix that UIN number on your drone. Okay, so nano
Mm.
drone weighing less than 250 grams can't fly above 250 grams. Sorry, 50 feet. Okay, so you see, nano drone which is less than 250 grams, they cannot fly above 50 feet. Okay, they have limitation only to fly up to 50 and US owned by armed forces are exempted from getting the UI. Okay, so if like armed forces are getting registered drones, so they are not required to be registered to or to get UI numbers. They are exempted from getting the UI. So nano drones are not required to be registered on the digital sky platform. Once you have the UI number, it should be fixed on UIs as identical and visible. So if you see if our drones, they will be having a metal plate. Okay? It's a fire grade metal plate. Even it can withstand a very big fire or strong fire. So that plate, even your drone तुम्हारा खत्म हो जाएगा, but that plate will be always there. Okay? So that kind of grade metal you put to fix the UI number. Okay? Who can get the UI number? A citizen of India, central or state government entities, Indian companies with two-thirds of Indian directors. Okay, because there could be companies where you can have a director from outside the country also, but if you want Indian companies to get it, UI number under their name, like Bombay Flying Club, drones are registered under the name of Bombay Flying Company, but they have to make sure that they have two-thirds Indian directors. And even foreign entities leasing the unmanned aircraft to the above. Okay. So if there is any foreign companies which are actually leasing the unmanned aircraft, they also needs to be registering their drones on the sky. Whatever it could be a period like let's say 1 year or maybe 1 month also. During that point, if they are doing operations in India and all that, they should register their drones under India. Later on, they can always deregister the drones, or if they are selling back to that same company for which operations are done, later on they can transfer those UN numbers to the said company accordingly. But moment they are going to use it, they should register their drone under the digital sky platform using Form Type 2. Okay. You can see this Form D2 or D2 form it is called. So make an application Form D2 on the digital sky platform along with the field as specified in Rule 46 and provide requisite details. So there is a lot of details which you need to fill when you are registering your drone. Digital sky platform shall verify the details and issue a unique identification number to the applicant. The moment you do the form, put up, there are documents which are submitted. Once they are validated, you will get the UI number generated for that drone. So the UIN or US shall be linked to the unique manufacturer serial number. That means even your drone will have a manufacturing serial number, like how your car. Your car has a number plate. That number plate is linked to what? To the chassis number and the engine number. So similarly, your drone which is manufactured, it will have its own serial number. So your UI number is linked to the manufacturing serial number. And no person shall replace the flight control module or the remote pilot station of an unmanned aircraft system whose serial number is linked to such a UAS UI number. Whenever you are building a drone, along with the drone, there is a flight control inside. So इसका भी एक serial number रहेगा. Similarly, the remote control which are going to use for flying that drone, उसका भी serial number, that serial number. So those two serial number are bind with this UI number. So you can't change the flight controller of that drone, or you cannot replace the remote pilot station also. I mean, when we say remote pilot station, it is not only the remote control. Sometimes you could have a bigger station also, a box kind of station is there, or ground control station, what we call it. So even that is also linked. If that is been certified with respect to that drone, you have to specify all that details, and then only you will get UN number. Once you get that UN number, all that things becomes as a one unit or one system. You can't change vice versa. ये इसका remote control उसके साथ use करो और all that. You cannot do that. Okay. So clear on the D2 form.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once you have registered the drone, let's say our drone was belonging to a OEM called Iotech Aviation. Okay. So they have built the drone, they have done their type certification. So they have filled the type D1 form. Then they have registered. Once they got the type certification, they got their drone manufactured, and they have registered that drone using D2 form. Now, those drones are purchased by Bombay Flying Club. So now what you need to do is, since ownership is with IoTech, that ownership needs to be transferred. Like initially, when you have a car, the car belongs to the manufacturer or to the distributor, right? Later on, once you registered in your RTO, the car becomes on your name. Okay, अगर आप loan पे ले रहे हो तो initially that car is not on your name, right? That under the car is belongs to the person who actually is giving you the loan. Similarly, here the drone is belonging to the OEM who has manufactured it or who has purchased the drone. Even I can purchase, I can get that drone transferred to me, and I can make further sale of that drone also. Like for example, there are distributors who are authorized by the OEMs for selling the drone. So the drone will transfer from OEM to the distributor and then distributor to the end user. So in that scenario, you need to transfer the UI number. Okay, the person may transfer an unmanned aircraft system to another person by way of sale. That means I have might have purchased a drone from IoTech and I can sell it to the farmer. Okay, so every time there is a transfer from one entity to another entity, you have to transfer. So it could be sale. I can gift it to also somebody. Okay, I can give it on lease also, or any other mode for providing requisite details, or any other mode after providing the requisite details of transferor, transferee, and the unique identification number of the unmanned aircraft system in Form D3 on Digital Sky platform, along with the fee as specified in rule number 46. See, here we are, every time we are talking fee as specified in rule number 46, but we didn't talk about, you guys never asked me about the question how much is the fee. Like D1 फॉर्म भरना है तो कितना फी है, D2 है तो कितना फॉर्म फी है, और D3 है अभी तो कितना फी. So all this D1, D2, D3, everywhere the fee is just 100 rupees. Okay, so you have to do a transaction of 100 rupees on Bharat Post platform. Okay, and you have to give that receipt while you are submitting these forms. Okay, so
Okay.
registration record is maintained by the Director General, and a transaction number shall be generated by Digital Sky platform after electronic verification of transferor, transferee, and the unique identification number. So in case of transfer, you have to fill D3 form. Now, as you are doing operations of the drone, there could be some problems with your drone. Okay? Probably you may bring that drone out of service. You're no longer going to use that drone. For example, just I'm just saying, okay, like after 5 years, right now whatever the drones are manufactured in India, they are just 3 years old. Okay, because really our drone industry started from 2020 or 2021, I would say. So 3 4 years old drones are there. Like whatever drones, like we have a drone which was purchased in 2022, and recently last year only we have purchased the second drone, 2024. So our drone is like one drone is 2 years old and one drone is just 6 months old. Okay, so they are very new drone. They are in operations now. But over the period of time, like let's say 5 years, OEM may say that you no longer should operate a drone which are older than 5 years or 10 years, kind of thing. Like how we have in car, like you have to surrender your car registration after 15 years, or until you get it certified for another 5 years under green tax rule. Okay. Similarly here, in that scenario, you should deregister the trade. Okay. As of now, this is not required from a time perspective, but with respect to where unmanned aircraft system registered in person name is either permanently lost or permanently damaged, he shall, on arriving at a reasonable conclusion that it is so lost or damaged, apply for deregistration of such unmanned aircraft system by submitting an application form for D3. Okay, on Digital Sky platform along with the fee as specified in rule number 46, and the record will be maintained by the Director General, and transaction number shall be generated by the Digital Sky platform. Okay, so even in case you are transferring the drone or you are not using drone because XYZ reason, it could be over the time frame the service is not been rendered by that particular drone, or it could be lost or permanently damaged. In these two scenarios also, you should make sure that you deregistered your drone. Okay, and have these documents like the transaction number that you have already submitted deregistration of the drone, or in case of transfer there will be always a transaction number would be generated on the digital side. So these things you should keep in case you are transferring or deregistration of the unmanned aircraft system. Okay, using form D3. So now you know what is D1. D1 is for type certification. D2 is for generating or registration of UIN number. D3 is for transfer or re-registration of unmanned aircraft system on the digital style platform. Okay, let's move. Now, as we now know the type certification, we know the what we called unique identification number or registration of the drones. Then we know now transfer and as well as the registration of drone. Let's see where we can fly the drones. Okay, so airspace map for the unmanned aircraft system operation, segregating the entire airspace of India into red zone, yellow zone, green zone with horizontal resolution equal or fine than 10 meters. That means that much zoom capability you are talking about the document of the platform. Okay, on digital sky platform, you can see where which area is categorized as a red zone, which area is categorized as a yellow zone, or which area is categorized as a green zone with horizontal resolution equal or finer than 10 meters. That means that much zoom level you can go and check. Okay. So how do you define a red zone? So let's take an example. Okay, here what is red zone? High security area. So what could be high security area? Can you give an example of high security area?
Any naval areas, ship,
Correct. Like
Air,
military locations.
airports.
airports, Parliament House, okay,
Yeah,
certain like temples, Madurai Temple, Tirupati Temple. Again, these are very high security areas. Okay, or any like Mantralaya in Mumbai, that is also high security area. Okay, so these are all high security areas. Okay, or there could be some place like where you are actually defense, defense locations, army locations, air force locations. These all are high security areas. So if you see these high security areas which are being documented as a high security areas, they fall under red zone. Okay, let's take a classic or simpler example. Our Mumbai airport is a high security area. It falls under red zone. So definitely the boundary of the airport is under red zone. From the boundary of the airport till 5 kilometer, 360 degree. That is the diameter from the boundary of the airport. Okay, till 5 kilometer is your red zone, and in red zone you are not allowed to fly your drones. As simple as that. First, we'll see later how the relaxation could happen if you want to fly in red zone. But let's first understand the zones. Okay, so red zone is from the perimeter of the airport or the aerodrome perimeter till 5 kilometer is your red zone. Now, after 5 kilometer boundary, next 3 kilometers, that is up to 8 kilometers, is your inner yellow zone. Okay, it's inner yellow zone. In that, you can fly up to you. I mean, you are not allowed to fly, in fact, but you are able to fly in case of requirement with specific approvals. Okay, so from 5 kilometers till 8 kilometers is your inner yellow zone. Then from 8 kilometers, further 4 kilometers, that is from 8 kilometers till 12 kilometers, is your outer yellow zone. Okay, but in that outer yellow zone, you have a zone called green zone also. Okay, where you don't require permission. In outer yellow zone, you require a permission, but within that outer yellow zone, there is a zone called green zone, which is from 8 kilometers till 12 kilometers with height of 200 feet. That small area is your green zone in outer yellow zone called as a green zone where you don't require permissions. Beyond your 12 kilometers from the perimeter of your airport, beyond 12 kilometers is your complete green zone. But again, that green zone, the height is limited up to 400 feet only. So in green zone, you can fly a drone up to 400 feet only. Above 400 feet, it becomes yellow zone. Got it?
Yes.
So are you clear on the zones? Red zone, yellow zone, and green zone.
Yes.
Clear.
Any doubt you have or any questions?
Here we have some nano drone also, right? That 250 grams drone.
Uh-huh.
For those drones, we can without any DGCA certification or anything, we can fly in this green zone, right?
In green zone, you can fly a nano drone, okay, but you have to see that 400 feet limitation.
Yeah.
Of course, your nano drone has a further limitation, not about 400 feet. What was the limitation for nano drone?
50 feet.
50 feet. Okay. So you have a, though you in a green zone, you can fly a drone up to 400 feet, but since your drone is classified as a nano drone, you have further limitation that you can fly only up to 50 feet, even in green zone.
Yes.
Clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Clear.
Yes.
Okay. I'll share this picture to you later on the WhatsApp.
Okay.
So now, what are the mandatory pre-flight verification of the zonal restriction? Let's assume you are as you made a question, Santosh, that I have a nano drone. I am flying the drone in green zone. So in green zone, I don't require permission. XYZ. I can fly drone 400 feet. All that things is there. But there are something mandatory things you need to fly. You need to take care before pre-flight. So mandatory pre-flight verification of zonal restrictions. So before commencing an unmanned aircraft system operation, a remote pilot shall mandatorily verify the digital sky platform for any notification or restriction applicable to unmanned aircraft system operations in the intended area of operations. Means what? Even though you are flying in a green zone, you are flying in a green zone, you don't require approvals. You are flying a type certified drone. You are flying within 400 limit also. Still, before commencing operation, a remote pilot shall mandatorily verify. See, this is how emphasize why I am emphasizing on particular words, because this is what is the responsibility of a remote pilot. You are going to become a certified pilot, so it is your duty to check the digital sky platform for any notification or restriction applicable to unmanned aircraft system operation in the intended area of operation. Let's say you go to Palghar area. Palghar area is green zone, or even our flying zone. Okay, our flying base at Igatpuri. It's in green zone. But even I am know that this is my green zone. This is authorized by DPC and all the things. Still, as a pilot, I have to every time, every day I am flying the drone. I check. I'll give a very classic example of recent time. Like in month of December, you know, all of sudden, Indian government has marked entire Pune, Ahmednagar, and Solapur region as red zone. Completely. So today it is in red zone. Imagine there are RPTOs in Pune, there are RPTOs in Ahmednagar, there are RPTOs in Solapur. They cannot perform their actions because their RPTOs all of a sudden, earlier it was in green zone, that's why they were certified. Now they have been green zone. They cannot do operations. So for complete 1 month, they could not do the trainings over there. They have to approach the DCA, Ministry of Civil Aviation and Drone Directorate, getting an exemptions with respect to the training. So as of now, those RPTOs have been given on a case basis and for a period of 1 year. Okay, if you see those red zone, their red zone have been marked for 3 years. They are completely marked as a red zone for next 3 years. So you cannot fly a drone in Pune. You cannot fly a drone in Ahmednagar. You cannot fly a drone in Kolhapur. If you want to fly a drone, you have to take approvals because they are all in red zone. The duty of a remote pilot to mandatorily verify the red flag. So I will show you when we see the digital sky platform about this. Okay. Requirement of prior permission: no person shall operate unmanned aircraft system in red zone or yellow zone without prior permission. So in red zone, it is a permission which you need to take it from the central government. Simple. Okay, it could be DGCA, it could be Airport Authority of India, it could be central government, it could be, what do you call that, ATC. All those will come into the picture. In yellow zone, ATC will come into the picture, or Airport of Authority of India will come into the picture. So it depends upon which area and what purpose, whether it is in red zone or whether it's in yellow zone. Based on that, you have to approach the bodies. Like for example, you are flying in a forest. Now forest is under green zone, but even under the forest, you cannot fly because those are restricted zones. Okay? Though they are green zone, but they are restricted zone. In that, you have to take permission from the forest officials and the local enforcement body also, whosoever are there. Like you may have to see, you have to make application to the local collector. You have to give application to the local enforcement body like police and all. You may give an application to the forest officials that okay, I am for XYZ. You need to justify why you are flying drone. You can't just take a drone and fly anywhere as you require. There are rules. See, nowadays these all because of drone rules 2021, these things are come into the picture, and then we need to follow this because these rules are not for restricting you. They are put rules so that you do things sensibly, responsibly. You do it safely and securely. Things. That's why these things are there. So they are not restricting you, but they are making sure that you follow certain procedures and approvals. Okay? That
Yes.
if you see from that perspective, then it is very easy. Like if I know I want to fly on the beach, I will take permission from my coastal police department. नहीं तो आप बीच पे fly कर रहे हो, coast guard will come and seize your drone. They will put you under the. There is a serious offense for this kind of doing activities on the beach. Like from 21st of December till 31st of January, especially like the area like Vasai, Palghar, even Mumbai, all these area where initially they are in green zone, they temporarily they are being given red zone status for a period of 1 month. Okay, so that's what is we call it as a dynamic nature of zoning. So central government may update the airspace on digital sky platform for unmanned aircraft system operation from time to time in order to change the status of area from one zone to another. Such change shall come into effect no sooner than 7 days after the date of such update. So government will release a GR. They will release some document which will they say okay, this so and so area will be marked as a red zone, and then post that they will mark that zone on the digital sky platform as a red zone. So that's what they're saying, dynamic nature of zoning. Now, who can do all these things? Okay, so temporary red zone. If there is any urgent need, like for due to political, there could be elections. During elections, also the certain areas were made as a red zone. So during that time, they will do it for certain period, like 96 when there was actually the election was happening. That point in time, they have made it for 96 hours, not exceeding 96 by the notifying through digital platform, highlighting it on the airspace. So that is a temporary rule. So after 96 hours, it will again go back and become normal green zone or whatever the zone it was initially intended. Okay. Who can do that? Temporary red zone shall be declared by officer not below the rank of SP, that is Superintendent of Police, or his equivalent, and such officer shall endeavour to keep the size of a temporary red zone reasonable and not excessive. Sometimes they may extend. Abhi 96 hours ka kiya, again they feel that they need to be extended. Again they will put it for 96 hours. So they will reasonably they will keep it for a period. Endeavor shall be made to inform. I mean, they will make sure that they inform through digital sky platform or other electronic means to all holder of unique identity. Like if you are belonging to Palghar area, you have a drone registered in Palghar area, you have a UI number. Okay, so in that zone they have made it red zone. So they will try to inform through digital sky platform, which is a common platform for everyone. As electronic means, if they have a information, they could send an email to you, okay, or they could send an SMS to you also. Okay, within that distance of 5 kilometers from perimeter of the temporary red zone of the restriction, so declared under the sub rule 1. But in such case, no such information is received. Imagine अगर आपका इधर रेड जोन है, all things are there, okay, और आपको information भी नहीं आया. Assume that you didn't receive the information. It shall not be absolved. Remote pilot responsibility to verify the total location on the digital sky platform before commencing an unmanned aircraft system. So, end of the day, responsibility of a remote pilot to verify on digital sky platform before commencing operations in that intended. Yeah, clear?
Yeah, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so operations of yours. So again, as I said, this rule carriage of dangerous goods was implemented in 2003. Okay, so carriage of dangerous goods, no person shall carry dangerous goods on an unmanned aircraft unless such operation is in compliance with the aircraft rules 203. Okay, 2003. So you have seen in news also a lot of time, cross border people send drones with illegal items. It could be ammunition, it could be drugs. All these are categorized as a dangerous goods. So you can't use drone for such kind of operation until and unless you have some authorization or compliance for that particular purpose. Okay? For doing that kind of activity or something. Until unless. Okay. Right of way. No person operating unmanned shall violate the right of way for manned aircraft and shall remain clear of all manned aircraft. That means the first preference is always given for the civilian aircraft. If you are flying a drone, you should always give way to manned aircraft. In fact, you should not fly your drone in a manned aircraft. But still, this rule is there. Okay, right of way. Okay, shall remain clear of all manned aircraft. And in case, during operations, you encountered some kind of accident. So it is mentioned mandatory reporting of an accident no later than 48 hours after the accident involving an unmanned aircraft system. Take the plate. Remote pilot of such unmanned aircraft system shall report the accident to the DGCA through the digital sky platform. So on the digital sky platform, there is an option where you can mention the accident, details of the accident and all the things. So it is, like how you have in a car, like if you have accident, you should always report to the police. You should always report to the insurance and all that thing. So that it becomes. I mean, it has the record of all things what has happened. So you can't just hide it from it. So similarly for the drone also, it says the mandatory reporting of accident. Now there are certain do's and don'ts when you are intending to do the operations. So know the characteristics of the aircraft and how to fly it safely. So you should, before flying the drone, you should know your drone very well. Like similar when you are driving, try to drive a car, you should know the car properly. Like how big it is, where are it. Like when you go for a driving learning, they will explain you about the car. They will tell you the controls. All the things they will do. Similarly, know the characteristics of the aircraft, how to fly it safe. Ensure that aircraft is safe for the flight before you operate. That means there are when we are doing a pre-flight check, we will we'll go through this thing. So there is a checklist which we need to go through before we actually fly the drone. Okay, fly only in good visibility and weather conditions. So this we will see in our topic weather and meteorology, like how what is good and what is bad. Okay, so you should always fly in a good visibility and weather conditions. So, for example, when I was gone for my instructor training in Haryana, I have gone in the month of January. Okay, so I didn't know. I mean, January in Bombay is a pretty cool climate, but when I went to Haryana, it was very cold. It was completely foggy. Even 100-meter distance, I could not see the area. Okay, so it's very difficult to fly a drone at that point in time. So first 2 days, I didn't have a training itself. We could not fly the drone for first 2 days because there was no sun also in the sky for those 2 days. The third day, actually, when sun came and visibility was good, we actually started our operations or actually our training resumed. So first 2 days, most of the time we were actually just doing all the back-end activity like query topics or seeing the drones, changing or working on simulator, all that offline activities we are doing for first because visibility was not good or weather conditions were not good for flying them. Make sure you keep your aircraft within your sight at all times. So whenever you are flying a drone, since we are also getting certified under VLOS condition, that is visual line of sight, we have to make sure that our drone is always visible to us when we are flying. Okay? Ensure the operation of the transmitting devices of the unmanned aircraft system compliance with IDA requirements. I mean, whatever the rules and regulations are there with respect to the compliance part of the communication part, we are following those requirements. I mean, those are anyway taken care in the type certificate drone. These are more applicable if you are flying some non-type certified drone. So, see, this comes into the picture because your drone could be also hacked, or I can bring another remote and I try to control your drone myself. So in type certified, these things are already taken care because your drone is binded to the specific remote control. Can't use the similar type of remote controller and try to control it. Because why it is this is required because your drone is following certain frequencies is operating. So that frequency is common. I can always communicate in that. So there is additional feature or safety mechanism built to the configuration of the drone such a way that they are binded with respect to the remote control. So they are following these IDA's compliance requirement when they are transmitting or communicating with respect to the drone and the remote. And keep sufficient distance from people, property, and other aircraft. It could be manned or unmanned. Okay, so you should keep safe distance from the people, property, and the manned or unmanned aircraft. So these are some of the important do's which you need to follow when you are doing your operation. Let's see what are those. Don't see, don't fly the aircraft over without you're not advisable or advised or approved to fly a drone on people. Okay, until unless you have special permission for doing. Like for example, during Kumbh Mela, IG Drones was the company which was given a contract to fly the drones over the people for monitoring purpose or surveillance. Or even during the COVID times, we have seen a lot of times drones were flown just to check the control of the drone. Even during like your cricket match or any activities, like there was what is that cold play was happening in Ahmedabad or in Mumbai. That time also, authorized people were allowed to fly the drone. You must have seen, you must have heard an incident in Ahmedabad. There were two drones. Two people who were flying the drones were caught because they were illegally flying the drones. Okay, so that's what it is. Don't fly an aircraft weighing more than 7 kg. I mean, this rule is this picture is more or less from the FAA perspective. For us, it is 250 grams, or it could be less than 2 kg also. Because only nano and micro are being exempted, whereas all other drones you need to have approvals and type certifications for those. Do not fly an aircraft weighing more than 7 kg. This is applicable for us for nano. Do not suspend or carry or attach any item to the aircraft unless it is manufactured to hold item. I mean, whatever the payload is authorized for that particular drone, you can do it. Like I mean, I've seen people, have taken a drone DJI Phantom, okay, और उसके नीचे एक बॉक्स लगा दिया और उस बॉक्स को ऐसा कुछ बनाया उसमें so that they can drop the flowers. I've seen people have made that type of drone, but it is not authorized. Okay? You can do that unless it is authorized for that. So tomorrow if some mishappens and all this, insurance company will also say that your drone is not authorized for this kind of activity. Do not carry hazardous substance using the aircraft. That means any hazardous like bombs or anything which is dangerous for people, property, or kind of thing. You should not have it on a drone. You have seen a lot of time cross-border drones come from Pakistan with all these dangerous or hazardous substances, like ammunition. sometimes bombs, grenades, even sometimes drugs also are being supplied to the. This was the example. Number five, don't drop or discharge any item or substance from there. Flowers है, इतने वो perfume वाला भी डाल दिया है. I mean, there I've seen some application people have developed. Until they have been authorized for a testing purpose is a one thing, but when you are doing it operationally or some commercial part, you are not authorized until unless it is been having approval or authorized for that. Do not fly where you may interfere with the emergency service. Like lot of people drone ambulance जा रहा है या फिर police vehicle is going on. You are trying to distract drivers or something. So mostly, it is always said in a moving vehicle you should not fly the road or near the moving vehicle because it may distract or create some kind of endangered to that particular driver or the people in that vehicle. So don't do all these kind of actions. Do not fly the aircraft over or within the restricted, prohibited, or danger area, including security sensitive. This is very clearly no for this. And the last one is again, do not fly within 5 kilometers of any airport or military airbase or higher than 200 feet. About 200 feet it will become red zone. So not in the red zone, not in the yellow zone. You should make sure that you are flying safely the road within the green zone within the height of 400 feet only with making sure that all approvals and restrictions are clear. Clear on the do's and don'ts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So now there are a couple of slides which are not more, really important from a perspective of your training. Okay, but these are part of the drone rules. That's why we have to discuss. So remote pilot certificate. So no individual other than holder of valid remote pilot license enlisted on the digital sky platform shall operate an unmanned aircraft. That means today there are, as I said, we have 30,000 drones registered, but we have only 12,000 pilots. So that means how much? Almost 18,000 pilots are flying drones without license, right? So they
Yeah.
are
Yes.
not valid. Okay, they are not valid. So they only people who are those 12,000 people are only the valid remote pilot because they are holding the license. Okay, for flying. Remote pilot license shall be specifically mentioned. That means you are right now getting certified for category. Which category? Can you tell me?
Small, small.
Small.
Category. See again you are making mistake. Category. स्मॉल जो बोल रहे हो वो क्लास है क्लास क्लासिफिकेशन कैटेगरी व्हाट आर द थ्री कैटेगरीज एरोप्लेन
Yeah.
रोटरक्राफ्ट
Rotary craft hybrid.
करेक्ट सो आप कौन सा ड्रोन पे जा रहे हो
Rotary craft.
रोटरक्राफ्ट व्हाट इज द सब कैटेगरी देयर आर अगेन
Um,
थ्री सब कैटेगरीज वन वाज
autonomous UAS and model RPS something
करेक्ट
and
करेक्ट
remoted
सो
piloted.
वन इज आरपास second is model third is
Autonomous.
Autonomous.
so you are not flying autonomous drone. You are being getting trained for RPAS because you are flying
RPAS.
the drone. So your category is rotorcraft, your subcategory is RPAS, and classification is which classification? 2 kg to 25 kg falls in the what?
Small. Small.
Small.
Small. So rotorcraft, RPAS, and small. So
Small.
your license will have rotorcraft, RPAS, and small specified on your remote pilot certificate. Okay. Who is authorized? I mean, who is eligible? Not less than 18 years or more than 65 years. So there was person, old gentleman, who was 62 years, and he has taken the license. Okay, he was initially a pilot who took the license. So you at that when he took the license, it was 62 years. So now he has crossed 65. So his license has become invalid. He is not allowed to use that license because he's crossed the specified limit. Because अभी 3 साल हो गए ना 3 years 2021 से 3 years. So initially when the licensing was available, he has done the course and he has become a licensed pilot. But now he has crossed his age of 65. He is no longer valid. So he has made an application to the DGCA to give the exemptions. So as of now, DGCA has not given any exemptions above 65 years because it is not only about the age. they have to see whether you are medically fit, whether you are visually fit to fly the drones or not. So they have asked to perform some test and submit the report. Okay, and then they have asked the performance board, human performance board, to certify that whether we can give license beyond 65 years. Okay. So that's why as of now his license is under hold or in suspended case. Okay, they have not cancelled it. It is under suspended case. Then the person should be at least pass 10th certificate, 10th examination, okay, from a recognized board, and has successfully completed such training, means the drone pilot or remote pilot certificate training from authorized DGCI certified authorized remote pilot training organization. Okay, any authorized remote pilot, like Bombay Flying Club is Director General Civil Aviation Authorized Remote Pilot Training Organization. Okay, so that is what it is. Yeah. So now, if you want to obtain a remote pilot certification, we have to fill D4 form. Now, this is activity performed by us, not by you. Okay, so if you see an application for remote pilot license to be filled by RPTO, that means as a instructor or me as a body from RPTO are responsible to fill a D4 form for you, behalf of you. So when I can fill this form, complete the training specified by the Director General for the category, subcategory, and class of UAS, and pass the test conducted by the authorized remote pilot training. So when you are doing your theory, after the theory, you will give a theory test. After you do simulator training, you will give a simulator test. After you do flying, you will do a flying test. So all those three tests you are passed, then only we can proceed for D4 forms. So within once you have completed your training and you have passed all your tests, within 7 days, successful completion of training and passing the test, the authorized remote training plan organization shall make an application for remote pilot license. So moment we finish your training and testing, we will make the application within 7 days. Okay, so after seven, that's why I said after 7 to 10 days, your certificate will get generated. Okay, so individual in respect to whom an application has been made by authorized remote pilot training organization shall be issued a remote pilot certificate through digital sky platform. So earlier there was a procedure to provide a certificate through a digital sky platform. So normally digital sky platform used to generate a certificate, okay, based on all the forms, all the details what we submit online, we were able to generate the certificate through that platform. But as of now, that is been stopped because the platform is getting in the migration. It is going to migrate to the new platform. Okay, so that's why they have stopped issuing the certificate through that platform. We are supposed to now authorize. There is an amendment which has come for a drone rules 2021 for generating the remote pilot license or certificate, where RPTOs are authorized to generate the certificate. So there is a number which is very unique number, a license number for you to be generated by us as per the regulations provided by the DGCA. After submitting your D4 form and doing the payment on the portal and sending all your documents to DGCA, we are supposed to generate that number for you and generate the certificate for you and then hand over that certificate. So after 7 to 10 days, after all the procedures have been followed and done by us, we will intimate you that your certificate is ready. You can come to one of the Friday. You may have to come to our office and collect your RPC from us. Clear? So D4 form, again the fee here is 100 rupees. Okay, we have mentioned that rule number 46, the fee has to be filled, so that is fee is 100 rupees. So here in this D4 form, I will fill all the documents, I will fill all your details and send it to DGCA so that they have record. So in future, when the new platform is available, all your certificate and everything details will be available on that platform. So that platform is called EGCA. Okay. So that EGCA platform, when it is ready, as of now it is ready, but it is still not released for people or not released for our drone operations also. Okay. So still there are some activities is going on backend. So it's almost more than a year this is happening. There are some challenges at the back end with respect to the DPCA and the vendor who is working on it. That's why it has got delayed. So as of now, we are only getting offline certificates for the licenses. But no worries, those all that information, what you have, whatever you have done the training, whatever the certificate is generated for you, whatever the certificate number you are being assigned, all that information is with DGC. So in near future, all that will become also online. Okay. So any questions on so far this?
No, sir.
No.
Okay. So now validity of your license or certificate, it will be valid only if it is enlisted. This is prior to that migration activity. That's why this rule is there. But no worries, they are also releasing a list of the people who are offline generated on the digital sky platform. So there is a list where as they get the data from all the RPTOs, so they are every monthly by end of the month they release that data where people are being trained as a remote pilot been specified. Your certificate or your license, unless suspended or cancelled, will remain valid for a period of 10 years. You get today the license, your license is valid or it is valid for next 10 years. After 10 years, it can be renewed by the Director General for a period. I don't know how. As of now, there is no definition because our industry is just for 3 years old. So any license what people would have be having would be having max to max 3 years old, right? So we have not reached that period of 10 years. Nobody's license is still not expired. So as of now, we don't need to worry or we don't know how much period it will be. Whether it will be again, like they say, subject to maximum period of 10 years. Okay, subject to a maximum period. So maybe 5 years or 3 years, depending upon what criteria, what the definition they provide at that point in time. So we have to worry this only in 2034. Okay, not 2034, 2031, because that is the time when we will be completing 10 years of our drone rules. Then only people's license would start getting expired, and they need to be renewed. So that point in time, DGCA may say that we will renew only for next 3 years or 5 years. The people who want intend to do the renewal of their license, they may have to go under some medical test or medical fitness test, and they may also have to go for refresher training course of 2 days or 5 days or 3 days. Anything could come up. I mean, these are just specifications I'm just trying to tell you because this happens in the aviation industry. Okay, so you need to renew your license, your flying license for the civil aviations after the period. Okay, similar things could come up in drone rules also. Now, who are exempted for obtaining this license? No remote pilot license shall be required for nano category. See, for nano, lot of things are being exempted, but there are certain restrictions to that category. Sorry, that class. Okay, so nano is being exempted for if you're flying a nano drone, you don't require to be a remote pilot license. So without license, you can fly a nano drone, but then limitation is of 50 feet. Okay. Again, you need to follow those do's and don'ts. Okay, nano hai matlab, you don't require license, you don't require type certification, and you are 50 feet tak fly kar sakte ho. That doesn't mean that you can fly on somebody's property or somebody's head. Okay, there you need to follow those rules also. So, permutation and combination of these rules you need to follow. ऐसा नहीं कि nano drone है तो I can fly. Not like that. Okay, there are exemptions given in certain criteria. Again, micro is also exempted from obtaining the license, but there is a criteria. What? For non-commercial purpose. Like your DJI Phantom drone, okay, if it is or any other drone which is above 2 kg, okay, sorry, not 2 kg, not about 2 kg, about 250 grams and within 2 kg. Let's say 1 kg ka drone. It is in class of micro, but you can fly that drone without a license, as a being without a remote pilot license. But you only can do it for non-commercial purpose. The moment you do it for commercial purpose, you need to have a license. You need to be a licensed pilot for it. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is so again drone insurance. I talked about this. Only nano drone is exempted from the insurance. Again, you see there is a relaxation for nano drone. You don't require to have a third party insurance for nano drone. Whereas any other drone, whether it is micro, small, medium, large drones, you will always have a drone insurance, third party drone insurance. Make sure people who are operating unmanned use an insurance product specifically designed for such operations as and when such insurance product is approved by IRDA, that is Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. Okay, so your insurance are being assigned by those organizations which comes under IRDA only, and the insurance what you are taking they are meant for that particular. ऐसा नहीं कि आप कार का इंश्योरेंस ड्रोन के लिए ले लो. No, when you are taking a drone insurance, it has to have a documentation with respect to that particular drone. So they will ask you to submit the documentation of your drone specific to your drone, UI number, or a lot of document information will be asked from you with respect to that drone. What is your intention? What is your flying methodology? All that things will be asked, and then they will come up with the premium value and whatever the value they can give it as an insurance, and then only the premium will be generated based on that and the period. Like you can take a drone insurance for a period like of a 1 day, 7 days, 10 days, 3 months, 1 month, or a year, depending upon you. So that way you can actually reduce your premiums also. So based on that you can do it. It is mandatory to make sure that you take the third party insurance, but you go through the document, ask the insurance company what is covered and what is not covered. Okay, so when I was purchasing a drone insurance for my drones, for my training drones, I had got the document from that. So I asked what is not covered in it. And then I came to know that my drone is not covered for night flying. Though I am going to fly my drone maximum in the daytime, my night flying is there only for 15 minutes. Okay, so I have to give you make the drone flying after the sunset. So after the sunset, it is like a night flight. So after the sunset, we'll fly the drone for 10-15 minutes. Okay, so uh, that period I have to make sure that my drone is covered under the insurance. Okay, or else I am not valid in case any issue happens in that segment. Okay, because logs are maintained inside the drone, so they will come to know when the drone was flown. Exactly. And if they say I'm flying the drone in a night condition, then they say I'm not following the or my drone is not following under the insurance document. Okay. So I have to get my insurance policy converted into 24 hours of flying. Then my accordingly my premium got changed. It almost got doubled up. Okay. But anyway, I have to purchase, so I have to go through that. And then since my operation is for 365 days, I have taken it for 1 year. So every year I have to renew my insurance of my drone. Okay, so make sure you mandatorily take third party insurance for your drones. Why drone? So this is damage to the body, damage to the payload, damages to any personal property from whom the crashing drone lands or falls. So considering this, so we'll discuss this more into the risk topic when we are going through risk. Why actually we are taking drone and what and how it can be helpful for us for the drone insurance. So valid drone insurance should cover either or all of the above damages. So these are some points we have just mentioned over here. Okay. Sometimes they will just give you insurance of a drone, and you think, अरे 4,000 में drone insurance आ गया मेरे को. But they are just covering the drone. Okay, so if it is damaged, then it is covering drone. Are prone to crash owing to bad weather, power failure, or inexperienced pilots. So a lot of times these things happens. So that's why you safeguard your risk factor. You have to purchase the drone insurance. Okay. Again, mandatory third-party liabilities. Again, I was talking about 4 hours, 1 day, 1 year. So depending upon it, and then they will take all the information, serial number, UI number. Then they will ask you to share the pictures, front, back, top, side, serial number, and then they will give a liability covered of 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs, depending on the plan and what is being covered into that policy document. Okay, and based on that, your premium is generated. Okay, so I am almost paying 11,000 rupees per drone premium for a year. So even that is more than the premium what I pay for my car. So this is rule number 46. We have speaking more often about this. So issuance of type certificate or airworthiness 100 rupees. Then UIN number, issuance of or transfer or deregistration of UIN number is again 100 rupees. Listing renewal of remote pilot license, that is D4 form, again 100 rupees. But if you are authorizing or renewal of authorization of remote pilot training organization like our organization, our organization is authorized for a training organization for 10 years. So my when my authorization has to be renewed, or even when I was doing authorization for my Eager 3 base, I have to pay fee of 1000 rupees. So this is D5 form. So cancellation or suspension, it could be your remote pilot license or even my authorization can be cancelled. So cancellation is where director general, after giving an opportunity of being heard, is satisfied that person has contravened or failed to comply with the provision of these rules, he may, for reason to be recorded in writing, cancel or suspend any license, certificate, authorization or approval grant under these rules. Means even your type certification, your UIN number, your remote pilot license, or even my training organization authorization can be cancelled by the DGCRA General of Civil Aviation. He will initially give you a notice, or he will give you a writing that so and so things have been observed, non-compliance. Please provide the justification or rectification for the same. Okay, if you have failed to do that, they may give you a period of like 15 days or a 1 month period. Okay, if you fail to do that, they will permanently cancel or suspend. Okay? They may permanently cancel or suspend for some period your license, certificate, authorization, or approval, whatever approvals will be granted under these rules. These rules means Drone Rules 2021. Okay? Clear?
Yeah, sir.
Now penalties, like lot of times, if they find that you have done some kind of thing, so they will might cancel. You may justify. So justification आपने दिया वो कल clear कर ले, but then he may imply some penalty to you. He may say ask you to okay, as of now I am giving you exemptions for this by giving the penalty of let's say 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees. So that penalty can be not exceeding 1 lakh rupees. So maximum what they can leave the penalty on you is rupees 1 lakh rupees. इसके पहले जब दोन rules आया था ना, I think there was some penalty of 25 lakh rupees. Okay, so
Oh,
that is very sure. I mean, if you put that kind of penalty, even you have done unintentionally something wrong, you can't pay 25 lakh rupees as a penalty. So people will say, I will not do further activity. You know, so you don't want people to go into that kind of mode. That's why they have reduced that penalty also. Okay, छोटा मोटा है penalty दिया, compliance objections raised किया and all that things, which is manageable. Okay, so they have just made 1 lakh rupees minimum. So they may sometimes किसी ने कुछ documentation proper नहीं किया, compliance proper नहीं किया, so they may imply some monetary penalty also. Then DGCA has a power to inspect. So DGCA can come to my flying base any given point in time, surprisingly, or he can give us an intimation of visit also. So two ways they can come. Either they can surprisingly, I mean, they can not intimate and they can all of them come to my site and validate the things, or they can intimate me prior and then they can come and validate. So at that point in time, they are have power to inspect anything related to unmanned aircraft system, any related activity, interact with any personnel, inspect any documents or record for the purpose of securing compliance with these rules and the provision of the Act. Okay, so DGCA has the full power. So these are all things mentioned in the Drone Rules 2021. Okay, so drone rules. Now summarization of drone rules. What we see here. Okay, uh, the last slide now. The drone registration. You don't require really nano, but you can do. For micro, definitely you need to do. For small, you need to do. Medium, you need to do. Large. Drone certification, that is type certification. You really not required to do any time. So there is no tick mark over there. But micro, small, medium, large, you can do. Pilot license for micro, small, and medium, you definitely need to do. Permission in green zone, you don't require any permission. Okay? But in yellow zone, yes. Even for nano, micro, small, medium, you require permission. In red zone also, you require. Whereas for R&D and education and testing purpose, you don't require any permission. Okay? So this is what is in general a small summary of your drone rules 2021. Okay? So with that, we complete our first topic. Though we have extended time almost till 12:30, so we'll just take 15 minutes break and what then 12:40, 12:40, or we can take. You want to take a lunch break? How do you want to do?
Normally, 1 o'clock is our lunch break time. Maybe
So, okay. So, you want a break now, or we can take a small, just 10 minutes. We'll just spend on digital Sky platform,
yeah,
and
we
then we can break for a lunch. That would be great, right?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Sorry for not giving you the tea breaks.
can. No,
Okay, okay, no problem, no problem.
Okay? So, I will just show you the digital Sky platform. Anyway, we will be touching the digital Sky platform regularly. Tomorrow, also at the end of the session, also we have digital Sky platform introduction. 5 minutes will take it, and then we'll 5 10 minutes will just. So whatever we talked about digital Sky platform, you will see. So this is actually the digital Sky platform. This is specifically for the drone only. Okay, there is a the bigger platform what we called as DGCA portal. So this is the DGCA portal. Okay, Director General of Civil Aviation, where you will have all other things related to civil aviation. Even drone things will come here. Okay, so you see here EGCA login, what I was talking about. So you will have a login and you will have a portal related to drone on this platform itself. So your digital Sky platform will get migrated to this platform. Okay. So if you go to as of now the digital Sky platform, this is your home page. You can see on your right side apply for what. So directly there are shortcuts been made here, and you can go to that particular location. Like you want to go for your type certification, you can click here. You can go to type certification. If you want to register your drone and get your UN number, you can click here. You want this is for model or nano US. Okay. And then if you want to do your transfer of unmanned aircraft system using T3 form, you can click here, or you can deregister also through this transfer and deregister. Then if you want to register as a remote pilot certificate for D4 form, this was during the online procedure. We have to click here and fill the form online. And this is authorization for D5. Even our D5 form is now not being filled through this platform. We have to do it manually. So all the activity, all the online activities, most of the online activity except registration and type certification of the drones, all other activities on the digital Sky platform is been stopped. Okay, only I can put an application for type certification of the drone and registration of my drone. Only these two activities are online. Rest all other activities are stopped on the digital Sky platform. Okay, if you want to create a flight plan, you can create from here. If you want to add a branch, like we had a initial our base at Dhule Airport, okay, and we have moved to the new location. Igatpuri. So initially we thought that we'll have a branch of our RPTO at Igatpuri. But then DGCA suggested that why you want to create a branch? Why don't you create it as a safe? Because we were intended to surrender our Dhule airport authorization. So they said, "Well, if you are going to do that, then don't create it as a branch. They said you create it as a separate base. So we have actually two bases. Okay, so one is in Dhule, which is as of now non-functional or non-usage. We will be, submitting the what we call authorization back to. So right now, our Igatpuri base is a full functional base, independent of any other base, not a branch. It is a full functional base. And then the last is the train the trainer authorization part. Moment we train, I mean, if I train 100 pilots, then I can become a master trainer, as well as my organization will be empowered to train the trainers also. That we train the trainer authorization for RPT. So I can make application for myself. I become initially as a master instructor, and then I can become. I mean, I can empower my RPTO also to become train the trainer authorization for RPT. That is what it is. So this is on your home page. If you click on issued UI number, so this is where you will see how many drones are being registered. So as we talk, we can see here total count of drone registered on the platform is 30,736 drones as of now we speak. So if you see here, click here, you will see the latest drone got registered till yesterday. Okay, so till 10th March or even today, as we speak, drones are getting registered. So this is what Sarvana Perumal Venkatesh Rajaram. He has registered a micro drone. Okay, with this UI number. It is what DJI Air 3S. Or there was Amal Kuniram. He has also registered a nano drone, which is Mini 3 Pro, okay, with this UR number. Whereas with Prabha Aerospace Private Limited, they have registered a Kisan drone. This is now if you see wherever you see TC, it is a type certified drone. Okay, which class? Medium. It's not a model. Okay. Whereas what is the weight? 28 kg. That's why since it is 28 kg, that's why it is in medium. When it was done, 10th March 2020. So in as we were started our training, by the time we reached 1 p.m., there are almost five drones are got registered on the digital satellite. Okay, then Sairaj Sunil Patil, he has also registered nano drone. Okay, Samir Chaudhary, he has also registered nano drone. So if you see here, okay, TC means type certified. PA, wherever there might you might see some drones which are this model type or PA. If it is model type, TC means type certified. If it is PA means provisionally accepted. Old drones or EN, they are old drones. Again, EX, like you see for this nano drones, they will put EX. So these, as per Rule 13 of two drone rules, type certificate is not required for model or nano, but still they have. So they are classified as EX. Clear? So this is about the UI numbers or drones which are registered on the digital side. If you go to US models, these are the list of the drones which, or type of the drones which are actually type certified. So as of now, we only have 101 drones which are type certified, and we are using for our training purpose a drone from this company, IoTech World Aviation Private Limited. They were the first organization to get their drone registered on the digital sky certified, which was type certified drone. So we are actually flying this agribot, which is weight of 24.9 kg. Okay, and it can flow up to height of 98.4 feet. That is almost 100 feet. I can fly this. Though I have a limit of 400, but this drone can be flown. I mean, they have restricted to fly the drone up to 100 feet only, okay, within the software. And then they will have a geofencing also made into it. So within that area only I can fly the drone. These are basically defined with respect to the safety precautions. So we can see it is the last drone got type certified on the digital. So last company which got registered for a type certified drone was Dronacharya Aerial Innovation Limited. They have registered their or they got their type drone type certified under medium class, named as Agriveer, and its weight is 29 kg point 70. Okay. And maximum height it can achieve is 164. Okay, so these are all drones which are type certified or authorized by the DPC for manufacturing and for selling purposes. Okay, so as we say training, now how many organizations are being trained? Provided the training capability. So we have 162 RPTOs which are authorized for conducting the training for people in across the India. Okay. Next is remote pilots. So we can see here there are 12,766 pilots which are authorized or having a valid license for flying within India. So let's see uh, the last 12,766 uh, was given on 20th May 2024. Okay, so after that, so I told you, more than 6 months to 9 months, this activity has been stopped. So you will see all the entries in the K2. So you see 6th February there. So this is a very very old RPTO. Okay, if I resume my operations at Dhule Airport, I can generate a online certificate. Okay, any only old organizations they are still able to generate the license on the platform, whereas all the recent RPTOs which are authorized they can only do offline. So we have 12,766. Now, if you scroll down, okay, I go back to home page. You scroll down, you can see here the classification of drone with respect to the weight, nano, micro, small, medium, and large. You can see here the weight differences what they have said. Then here there is a procedure for D1 form. Then you have D2 form, D3 form, D4 form, D5 form. Create flight plan, add branches to RPTO, and train the trainer RPTO. That means whatever you see on the home page on the right side, you have the same options, but here they have elaborated with the procedure also. Like if I want to do D2, then they have mentioned the details, how do and what you need to do. Okay, so you can see here. Like if I want to do for D5, what are things I need to do. As you further you scroll down, you can have your drone rules 2021 here. So I can just open and whatever that documents what I showed to you, you can see it here. That 43 page document of drone rules, you will see it here. This is that document what we referred and we had been doing the first class from here.
ले लो ले लो ऑर्डर ले लो
Okay, this is what we have. End of this document, the annexures, you will see form, detailed form. Form D1 is there, is there. D3 form is there. Then you have D4 form and your last D5 form. So before this drone rules 2021, when the initial drone rules were there were 75 forms. Okay, to be filled. So over the period after all the amendment discussions, they have reduced it only to 5 forms. That's it. Okay, even the penalty was 25 lakh rupees. For form also submitting this form, there was a huge fee which they have reduced it to very drastically to very minimal amount. 100 rupees is nothing. Okay, so because they want government of India wants people to adopt drones, and drone industry needs to be grown. That's why they have put all this kind of relaxation. Okay, so with that we end today's session of stakeholder laws and basic drone rules 2021. Okay, so we have completed this session. If you have any questions, go through that questions or we can break for the lunch.
ओके सर
Okay, so
या
we'll break for the lunch and we'll come back at now it is almost 12:52 means 1 p.m. So we'll be back by 2 p.m. Okay,
Okay.
यस श्योर
so
Okay.
thank you. Bye.
Thank